Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, here with another episode. My co-host, Ryan Catchings.
I think this one's a special one for me because I'm in my 30s.
Oh, yes.
So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with these women, man. So
it's happening here. We got three beautiful ladies on the set, and today we are talking dating in your 30s. Let's get it. Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, my co-host, Ryan Catchings.
I can already tell, man. It's going to be a powerful one, right?
You need to watch too.
I discovered porn when I was a child. My mom.
To get that white man's shit out of him. You pursued me, I ran.
It's the brother I want, don't care.
this is dope.
You need to have a threesome.
Yes. Big shout out to everybody in here today. Dating in your 30s with three beautiful ladies here on the set. And let's go ahead and introduce these beautiful ladies. Let's talk to the lone wolf over here all by yourself. Ronnie came in here fresh up out of Alabama today. Brand new. First of all, big shout out. Brand new mom on the set here for now a whole month. Just a month ago had your baby.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, Ronnie. How you
Thank
feeling?
you. I feel amazing. I feel blessed.
Man, you got back to work quick.
Absolutely. Money got to be made.
Yes.
Come on.
And that's a fact. Well, listen, I'm glad to have you here, and we're gonna have an amazing conversation.
Absolutely. Let's get it.
Let's get it. And to my left, I got this firecracker right next to me here. Oh my goodness. This firecracker here is such a personality. Got a track record here on radio, entertainment.
Keep going.
What is it? TMZ, BT, Complex. You've been on all these platforms.
Yahoo, Black Love,
Oh man.
Essence.
And you always going
MTV,
viral.
on Twitter. Yeah.
And today you here with us on Hardly Initiated.
Yeah.
Single?
Yes.
No kids?
No.
Fresh off a date today, right?
I literally just came from a date.
Literally.
I don't play
Incredible.
about the dating.
So we're gonna be knee deep in
Yeah.
with the conversation.
Let's
Okay, I
talk
like
about
that.
it.
Good.
Listen, listen. They're in the streets.
And-
All right.
Did you tell my interview Oprah? Because that's important. That's on my screen.
And she interviewed Oprah
Good. Yo, let me see that photo. That's-
Winfrey. That's a
Yeah.
pretty big accomplishment there. We can't
Wow.
just skip over that.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless
Wow.
plug. Shout out to O. Happy birthday, O.
That's
Belated
legitimate too.
Wow.
Birthday. Oh,
Yeah.
not too right.
And last but not least, we are joined here with Brittany Q Hill.
Run me my cue.
And look,
Run me my cue.
I gotta run you the cue. And Brittany, it's a blessing to have you. You're the one here to actually quarterback this whole situation from LA here to Atlanta, actress, producer, entertainment host. And now you are on here today with Hardly Initiated. I'm
Made it.
very glad to hear
Mama,
your
I
story.
made it.
Period.
And you got a nice little situation too, because I mean, I don't know if we call you single or unmarried. What you like to go by?
I'm like, hopefully gonna be engaged very soon.
Period.
Period.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Yes.
Hope.
Yeah.
She said, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah.
That brother watching. You heard that, brother.
Wow.
He better. He
You
better
heard
be like,
that. All right. It's pressure. It's pressure. That's what's happening when you date a woman in your 30s. There's always some pressure.
Listen.
Listen.
I don't know that time to wait.
You don't.
Right.
No, I get it. And look, I'm very excited to have you ladies here. We are going to have an amazing conversation. The first thing we need to do, though, is let the amazing audience of Hardly Initiated know what's coming up. So, Ryan, let them know.
So this thing, I'm looking this up right now. Lano, pull up that picture for me because I want to pull up Brian's photo.
Big shout out to Brian.
So check this out, guys. I want y'all to look at this photo right now. This is Brian Varnum. So Brian, he actually gave us a call. This was like 2 weeks ago.
I remember that.
Told us about his dating situation, kind of gave us some rundown of what was going on. As a special gift, we actually sent him the deck of cards.
We did.
1 week later, Brian goes out. I'm assuming one of these ladies in here is his lady. And they like on some kind of friend date situation.
Brian, which one is it? Hey, let us know in the
Brian,
chat. Which
yeah.
one's your lady?
Let us know which one. I hope it's not the one looking kind of skeptical right here. She looking like, I don't know if I need to take this photo.
That's a fact.
But this is the thing, guys. These Hardly in Love dating cards, I was telling y'all, this is the best thing that you can do if you want to up the engagement on your dates. And the thing which I
Yeah.
wanted to show that photo is because Brian not only used them on a one-on-one situation, he used them for a group affair. So I always say these dating cards will take your party to the next level. So this is just verified proof of how beneficial these dating cards are. So y'all check these out. You need those. So I'm gonna drop the link right now for those, and Ty gonna get us rolling.
Yes, guys. Oh man, this is the very first month or the first show of the month of February. And February is a very special month, right? It's like that month of connection, right?
Right.
It's like that month of love.
It's the love month.
It's February, y'all. And matter of
Valentine's
fact,
Day.
we're gonna do something special for y'all later in the episode. I'm gonna do something very special. So y'all hold tight. All right, especially for my people that want those Harley and Love cards. I want you to hold tight. That link is gonna be here, by the way, in the description and in the chat, so you can get it either way. But let's actually go into it, ladies.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Because I intentionally got a group of ladies who are single, unmarried, right?
Technically still single
Te-
until married.
Technically,
Okay.
yeah, technically you still single,
Asterisk.
right? Right.
Mhm.
And we did because I really listen. Harley Initiated brings a wide range of perspectives. We've had pastors on here, attorneys on here, judges, husbands, wives. I mean, the gambit.
Yeah.
But today we bring in our singles panel
Mhm.
because we the ones that's really in these streets.
Trenches. Trenches.
Okay.
Take me out the
Trenches.
streets, Lord.
So we the ones that know what's really going on.
That's
We got a
true.
hell of a testimony out here.
That's true.
But I want to talk to the ladies.
Yeah.
Because dating changes a bit in your 30s. There's some
Ooh.
very specific challenges that comes with being in your 30s that you didn't necessarily have in your 20s. And I want to cover that here today. The first thing a lot of people would say, because we had a very viral, it was in the episode, it's viral in the episode, right? In our own episode, comment and super chat that was made by one of our initiates that said straight up, if you are single, to some degree, you have failed. It was hardcore.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm not going to say I agree with that,
No, yeah.
but I want to address that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this here. Let's address first off why we are even single. Let's talk about this. Why? Because that's what I want to know. Why all of us sit here sitting at this table
Yeah.
single right now? And Ronnie, I want to start with you.
Oh, wow.
You see that? I did the no look.
Yeah,
I said, Ronnie,
Don't look past. Go ahead and put me on the
Ronnie, I
spot.
want to start with you.
Yeah. Put me
all right?
on the spot. Why
So-
am I single?
If you had to just answer that off the top of your head, where do you go with that? Where do you go with that question?
Oh, Lord. God ain't sent them to me yet.
Period.
That's it.
Amen.
God ain't sent them to me.
So, okay, let's dig deep, okay? Because you know we ain't gonna just accept that,
Yeah, we can't let that
and
one
we
ride.
gonna let that ride here, all
Go ahead, go
initiated.
ahead.
Because I can imagine you. Because here's what I'm thinking about. You date, right?
I do.
You actively dating.
I do.
You actively dated all throughout your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You met a bunch of brothers. You met a bunch of brothers that entire period. Is it honest? If we're being honest with ourselves, none of the brothers that you met from that point up until now, are we honestly saying that none of those brothers had the potential to be somebody that we could build with long term?
No.
Not one of them.
No. If God told me right now you already met your husband, I'll be disappointed.
Mm.
Look at us.
That's so
Hold on, wait.
So-
You're gonna be
so-
disappointed with what God told you.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that you disappointed at God's word. Okay.
Wait, so what do y'all think about that? Is that a similar situation?
Yeah.
Well,
Situation?
I think what she's saying is that if God told you that you had already met him, you'd be disappointed because what's been presented wasn't
Come
God's
on.
best.
Yeah.
It wasn't his best.
Yeah.
So I get that. I totally get that. For me, I feel like there's a difference between being single by default versus single by choice.
Come on.
You know, for me, I'm in a relationship, but I'm not married yet simply because I feel like I haven't found the one that's worthy of me committing full time for the rest of my life. That's a huge commitment. And if
Yeah.
I'm honest, I think marrying wrong has always been a fear of mine
Yeah.
Mm.
because I haven't always had the best representation of marriages, successful marriages. So for me, there's no rush. I would rather marry and do it right? Because the goal is not to be married, but to be happily married.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind waiting as long as I'm waiting for the right one.
Yeah.
So this is my question. So you got these guys that you've dated in the past, all of you ladies. I mean, is it possible that over 5, 10, even 15 years, it could have been the right person, but they've matured since? Like, is it possible that you met the right person, they just weren't let's say, marriageable at that time?
It's a no for me.
It's a no for me too.
I don't understand that.
It was a no for
No.
me too. Mm-mm.
So, I mean, I'm 35 now. Now, I'm thinking about 5 years ago, a very different person. 10 years ago, even more different. 20 years old, I was completely different from how I am now. And I would think that, unfortunately, a lot of the ladies who have met me in the past, and maybe, and listen, maybe I'm not marriageable, right? It's up to the ladies to decide.
Well,
But I would hope that those ladies wouldn't say the same thing about me if they came in contact with me at 20 and 25 years old. So I'm just having a hard time processing that. If people can grow from day to day, year to year, how is it possible that none of the guys you ever dated was marriageable material?
You
You
know,
know,
tell you what. Go ahead.
I hear more men say that they have dated women in their past that was marriage material. I hear more women today say the men that they have dated was not marriage material.
Mhm.
And I feel like men do not know their worth. They don't know that they're husbands. They don't know that they're kings. They don't know how to show up and be who God has originally ordained them to be. So it become hard for us.
And can we talk about
Go
things
ahead.
systematically?
Yeah.
Right? We
Yeah.
want to talk about the separation of men in the home, going
Come
back
on.
to slavery. Then we want to go into incarceration. Then we want to go into the mass drugs. Then we want to go to Jim Crow. So it's just the dynamic that we have grew up in. Men have been separated and women have been in a place to kind of step up and do more. And to your point, I encourage men to know their worth and to do more and to date intentionally and not accept anything, because in turn, with them accepting anything, that type of stuff gets projected on women who are dating intentionally, who want better. And we can try to build a man up, but if he does not already have that internally, then we are going to be spending our 20s, our 25, our 30s just kind of building this man up who doesn't accept that. So he has to go on this journey alone to say, I am worthy. And then let's talk about these mothers. Okay. You need to pour into your son. As a mother, sometimes it's so much focus on the daughter, that you're beautiful, don't let this and that, do this and that. That needs to be poured into sons. You are strong. You are worthy. You are handsome. You can be anything you want to be. Like, it all starts. I have this theory that we're all trying to get our lick back from what our parents did to us. And it's just constant projection. My dad wasn't there, so I'm going to take it out on you. My mother did this to me, so I'm going to take it out on you. Everybody needs to go to therapy. And everybody needs to heal. And to your point of the man that I dated back in the day, do I feel like they were marriage material now today, or have they grown? No, because they still with girlfriends be in my DMs, like in my pictures. You haven't grown. And when I see that, I say, thank God for the rejection.
Come on.
Thank God they didn't want me to be their girlfriend, because God knew better than me. Because 10, 15 years later, you're not even a good boyfriend still to this day. And that is what I try to talk to women about, is that when you're rejected, don't take it to heart. It's a blessing, because you don't really know, but God knows. So no, I wouldn't go back and date any of those men.
And I just want to add one thing to what you said too. I do believe that men can grow, right?
Same,
I do
me
believe
too.
that. However, I've never dated a man that I didn't leave better.
Come on.
So if I can do that for any man every man I date, then I expect the same. And the thing is that even though they can grow, I believe that they can grow. You weren't that man to me.
Nope.
We see you being that to the next woman after me, right?
Yeah.
I'm helping you establish and build and grow to be the amazing man that I always knew you could be for the next one, but you weren't that man to me.
No.
So
I want to talk about this. Would you ladies say that you guys dated intentionally throughout your 20s?
I haven't.
No, not intentionally. No.
not the whole time.
No.
So these men that y'all were meeting, how were y'all meeting these guys?
Back in the day,
Out and about,
yeah,
hanging
out and about, work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of
But
workplace.
if you
in
weren't
passing?
dating intentionally, it's possible because you had a different lens on at that time.
Absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
possible you could have been attracting or being pursuant of men who weren't
Absolutely.
Right.
you
I
know,
can agree with that.
the good type. Okay.
Or just
Okay.
we just have more leniency and grace in your 20s, because you feel like I'm young, this person
Yeah.
is young. We both have time. And that's the thing about the 30s, is why it gets slimmer, because now we feel like, oh, we don't got that kind of time.
Right.
When you're 21, 22, you're like, okay, let me give him grace.
Okay, let me add to that, because if I'm honest, I remember all throughout my 20s, I specifically said I didn't want to get married in my 20s.
That's
I
that
wanted
was
to
me,
learn
yeah.
myself and have fun, and
Yeah.
I was focused on my career. I
Yeah.
remember saying specifically I wanted to marry in my 30s.
Yeah.
And so here I am in my 30s.
Oh, okay. So that was always
Maybe.
a part of the plan.
For me, yes, because I've always been career driven, for sure.
I
Okay.
never said I wanted to marry him. I never said I want to marry in general. Like, I like the idea of marriage, but just like you, I've always been like career driven first. Like when little girls were like white picket fence with a dog and a
Yeah.
husband,
I never
I
wanted
was like, no, I'm gonna be Oprah. Like, I'm gonna be the president. Like they were
Right.
like, you don't want a husband? Like, yeah, he's a part of the plan, but like, no, like I have to really, and you know why though? Because my mother was a homemaker and she didn't work, and my dad worked. So when I seen that, I said, this dynamic here is great for her. I was like, but shout out to my mom, love you, sorry, but I just didn't want that for myself.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
so I seen that and kind of was like, no, I have to go out. I have to be driven. Like, it just kind of like pushed me to be like all that God created me to be, and not have to wait for a
Purpose.
minute. Correct.
Purpose.
Thank you.
Purpose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's
That-
kind of crazy because I hear it a lot too.
Yeah.
When it comes to referencing a woman that was a homemaker, we typically reference that woman as like almost an unpurposed woman,
No,
like
no,
a woman
no,
who no. I'm
Homemaker
talking
could be your
culturally.
purpose. Okay, yes.
Culturally,
Yes.
but that whole tone you just had is typically how we talk about women like that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's for the birds.
good job for you, but I got a purpose.
No,
There's
and
purpose in being a homemaker.
there
though.
is. That's why I want to clear, because I know
So,
there's
so
probably
does that mean
homemakers
so does that mean because we have a culture of people who don't want to be homemakers, does that mean that the home is purposeless at this point?
No,
No, I
not,
wouldn't
not
say
at
that.
all.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Like a mother and a wife, those are great roles. Like, I want that role one day.
Mhm.
So I'm not downplaying and saying that they don't have that purpose, because there's so much wrapped into that, especially when you have children. What I'm saying is that I seen the downside of it, not the upside. I'm speaking of the downside of being a homemaker,
Okay.
or the downside of having to wait for your husband to pay for everything or give you something or do whatever. And I just never wanted that for myself. Like, I've always been very, very ambitious since like a young girl. And I feel that as I've gotten older, I realized that that is probably within therapy. That is probably the reason why I am very ambitious, is because I'm like, well, I never want to be in a position where I have to wait on a man for anything.
That's it.
Mhm.
Okay, so it sounds like you two got very similar situations. So
Yeah,
even though you intentionally said, "Hey, I'm gonna be a wife in my 30s," you still very career or purpose oriented, however you want to,
Yeah.
fashion it.
Yeah.
But what about you, Ronnie? Was that the same situation?
Yeah, growing up, it was the same thing. The difference, I didn't want marriage because I didn't see a healthy marriage growing up, around me.
Mhm.
And then I was engaged with my daughter's father. And then I
Okay.
called that off. And then after that, I just didn't want marriage at all. As far as like, I would say that I'm very ambitious. I just saw my name in lights growing up. Like, I know
Yeah.
that I'm gonna be famous. I know,
Same,
like,
same.
I saw that.
Mhm.
And I'm still gonna be that person, right? Then I was like, man, I'm desiring marriage. And then I met somebody 2 years ago. I'm like, man, this is who I'm getting married to. I thought this person was my husband. And then it didn't happen.
Mm.
I just ended up pregnant and single.
Can I ask you a question, Ronnie?
Go
What
ahead.
does that feel like when you think somebody is your husband? And you can say that too. I have never felt anybody that I dated was my husband. I've never felt
Girl.
that before. I've always felt like, I
Correct.
don't know, God, I don't know. But I've never felt that. Like, what does that feel like?
You leave hurt because you feel like you've got it wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
now you can't trust your own judgment
Got it.
to make a decision
Okay.
or to use discernment. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you start questioning yourself, like, God, like, where did I mess up? Like, where did I mess up at? Where did I miss it? Like, what happened? So you get to that point where you literally start to like literally judge. You can't judge your own decision making anymore.
Yeah.
And you leave hurt, you leave disappointed.
Yeah.
You leave, feeling betrayed.
Yeah.
You feel like you betrayed yourself.
I get that.
So okay, so it sounds like the three of you during the 20s,
Mhm.
what you was doing was grinding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say. I would say if somebody asked me why I don't have a wife, what I was doing in my 20s, I was grinding.
Yeah,
Right.
well, let me add to it. So I was grinding, but then I put a pause on it for 4 years to get in a relationship. And he was very insecure, very controlling, very jealous. So for 4 years, I was not grinding. I was
Okay.
trying to cater to that relationship and those insecurities. So I stopped everything. So for me in that time, relationships looked like a box. It looked like something that I was trapped in. I couldn't be my full self until I got out of it. And then I went back, because before I got into it, I was ambitious. I was grinding, got into it, tried to pacify his insecurities and all that other stuff. Then I got out of it. And then once I got out of it, I got back into grind mode just like that. And I've been on that run ever since.
Okay, well, let's focus on the time that you were, pursuing of career or,
Yeah.
aspirations, things like that. I guess my question is, because it seems like most of the women I speak to,
Mhm.
that's pretty much what they share. Hey, I wanted to get my money. Hey, I wanted to make sure I can take care of myself. But my question is, why is that so attractive to a woman? because I know why it's attracted to me, right? Because as a man, if I don't do these things, I won't have access. I won't have access to women if I don't get a good paying job. I won't get access to the best men if I don't be successful in my career. So for a woman, why is that important?
I think unknowingly, and I only could speak from my mother, or I only could speak from my family and women in my family. I think unknowingly, without women in my family telling me, like, don't wait on a man for anything, I think it was embedded in some sort of way. Like, I feel like it's taught to daughters in some sort of way, like, be independent, always have your own, don't ever need a man for anything, don't wait on a man. And then the narrative taught to men is like a little different, but it was always taught to us. Like, if you think of like small examples, like, you know, men, boys outside playing, right? Women, get in here, set the table, you know, like do this, do that. Like, we were always taught to be like, just stand up and do things and independent and not to need and all those things that I think that's where we get it from, you know, just so we're not ever in a position where we have to need a man.
Yeah.
And you were taught that, even though, because would you consider you growing up in a happy a home that was happily married?
I feel like I seen the ebbs and flows of marriage, but I also seen my mother in a position where she wouldn't be able to leave on her own. No.
Yeah,
And I
that's
said
it.
I never wanted to be in a
That's it,
position where
yeah.
I could not leave.
That's it. I got to piggyback off of that. For me, it was the example that I had in my grandmother and my mother, especially watching my mom in the marriage with my father and seeing how she had to navigate once they divorced and having to get back on her feet. I always made the decision that I never wanted to be in a position where I was so dependent on a man that I couldn't leave because I needed him to survive. So for me, it's not so much that like I would never say I don't need a man.
Same.
But for me, I always say if a man chooses to stay or leave, I'm gonna be good regardless.
That's it.
Regardless whether you choose to stay or leave.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, just to get general temperature to the table, what were you guys' longest relationships?
Mine was 5 years,
Okay.
Okay, wow.
and that's when engagement in the 5 years.
Got it.
How long
Okay.
y'all engaged?
6 months.
Okay. Okay.
So hold on, wait. So y'all was engaged and by the way, how old were you when you were engaged?
I was 18.
Okay.
That's so young.
That was young.
Very young.
Very
Yeah,
young.
baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just curious, because we actually did a whole show on calling off engagements
Mhm.
recently. What was the reason you actually called that one off?
Because at this time I got in church, and it's like when you get in church and you build your relationship with God and you have somebody that don't have a relationship with God, it's just not gonna work. And I wanted
Ever.
so much more.
Ever.
Talk about
Yeah,
that,
so
right?
it
on
was
it.
like we were unequally yoked.
Yeah.
And and how I knew it was God, because after 5 years when I walked away, I had peace.
And your life improves
Yeah.
so
It
much
improves
drastically
so
when you
much.
let go of an
It's like
unequally
night
yoked
and
man.
day. It's
Yeah.
like night and day.
Absolutely.
Literally.
Now, okay, cool. Just to get clarity, by the way, because Ronnie, first of all, you got a interesting story too, because that was also the father of your child at that point, right?
Mhm.
Got it.
Absolutely.
And first of all, I already know it's a lot of stress on y'all
Mhm.
having a kid that young. Because I think, how old were you when you actually had your kid?
When I had my daughter, I was 15.
Had your daughter at 15,
Mhm.
and y'all was the same in the
He
same
was
grade?
18.
18.
Yeah.
So y'all babies
Yeah.
at this point,
Mhm.
and y'all trying to figure out pretty much how to go about having a relationship. So when you say that he didn't really have a relationship with God, was it that he wasn't like willing to go to church, or like what did that look like at that young? Because
The crazy thing is,
go ahead.
he went to church faithfully.
Okay.
He doesn't have a relationship with God.
There's
It's
a
a difference
difference.
between
There's a
you going to
difference.
church and you
Yes.
having your personal
Mhm.
relationship
Yep.
with God.
Yeah.
Like, and then
Okay.
his parents own the club, so he would DJ there. And then, at first I would be in there
At
support-
18?
Yeah, like I would
Okay.
be in there, I would support him, all that. But then when I got in church, I'm like, I can't. Like, your conviction starts to really weigh on you.
Mhm.
So for me, it was like, I wanted more out of life. I wanted to move out of Alabama. He didn't want to move out of Alabama. You know what I mean? So you have to start making decisions, not just for you, but for the child that y'all have together. And still to this day, we have a beautiful co-parent relationship. Like, we don't have no dramas, no big, like none of that. And I'm like, that's nobody but God. It took us a minute to get there.
Yeah.
But it's nobody, but God's doing is how we can co-parent today.
Do you regret that decision at all?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I know that's
No.
right.
I'm just curious. I
No.
want to know.
No.
I want to know. What about you, ladies? What was the longest relationship?
Mine was 3 years. Yeah, and we ended it right in the thick of the pandemic.
Oh,
Wow.
Did the COVID have anything to do with it?
No, we were already It was a
rise?
wrap. Yeah,
Okay.
before that. Yeah, for sure. But it was 3 years.
Mine was 4 years, and it ended with a restraining order, my windows being busted, my car being
Ooh,
keyed.
Lord have
and-
mercy.
That was the immature. The one that you said was immature, or
Yeah,
like low self-esteem or
I
something
had
like that.
I had to get a restraining order. For sure.
Wow.
That's ratchet.
First off,
Real ratchet.
I've heard a lot of stories like that.
My-
I got ladies that I've talked to; they still getting texts to this day. From
Oh,
that
I
crazy
don't get
dude.
texts, but I was just God is so good just because the whole time this was happening, I had so much. When they say peace of God surpasses,
Yeah.
Come on.
my family was concerned. My family was scared, but I had so much peace. My fear was that he was going to harm himself. That was I prayed every night for him. I was
Same.
fine. I said, God, give him peace, mend his heart. Give him
Mm.
the strength that he needs to move on. I had already
Mhm.
moved on, but my car was keyed, my window was busted, my phone was, it was just
Toxic.
toxic and erratic towards the end though.
Mhm.
The whole time it wasn't like that, but until I made that decision that God had been putting on my heart for like a year and a half to break up with him, and I finally did it, he just couldn't handle it emotionally. So I was praying for him because I knew he didn't want to harm me. I never got that. I never was scared that he was going to do something to me, but I was always scared that I was going to find out like he did something to himself.
Wow.
So I was very prayerful during that time, but it was tough, but nothing but the faith of God. And essentially I felt like the end had to be dramatic because I felt like God was like, one, I want to show you who you're dealing with for real.
Mm.
And two, I want to make it so awful that you don't even consider going back.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And so I'm curious about this. So you dating in your 20s,
Mhm.
you know, all of y'all thinking pretty much I need to get the bag because I don't necessarily want to be financially dependent on a man,
Mhm.
right? What is that? Is that not
it
accurate?
had nothing to do with the man.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with
You
the
just
man.
wanted
It had
financial
everything
independence
to
in
do-
general.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to chase my dreams.
Yeah,
It was about
same.
me and fulfilling the desires of my heart. It
Purpose,
had nothing to do
dream.
with a man.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nothing.
Well, in doing this, fulfilling the desires of your heart in your
Mhm.
20s,
Mhm.
did you at that time think, hey, me going about this route of pursuing my desires, whatever that is, careers, dreams, all of that good stuff,
Mhm.
could potentially have negative or impairing impacts on your relationships and dating in the future? Wait,
I
Brittany,
did-
what's up with you? What you laughing at?
It's funny that you asked that because I just turned 35, and remember I said all throughout my 20s I was like I'm gonna wait until my 30s to get married. I don't know if I thought it was gonna be a switch that I would just get married at 30. I didn't think it was gonna be 35, and I'm still unmarried. So I will say that even though I think my intentions were pure, I feel like looking back, maybe I shouldn't have pushed off marriage in my 20s. Because now I'm 35 and I have no doubt, I still believe I'll get married. I have no doubt about that. But now, unfortunately, we do have that time clock that, is against us.
See,
But-
that's different. I've never had a time clock. For me personally, I was just always chasing my dream, chasing what God put in my heart. And I always thought of the idea of marriage. And I knew that, and I still think someday it will come. I just know it's not the forefront for me. I think that what God has called me to do in this world, in this walk, I think that is a part of it, but just at a later stage, because I feel that the calling that is on my life is so big and so grand that it's going to take a special person. Like I say this all the time. Like I know we joke, you say like firecracker, and then like I have a big personality.
Yes,
Like
you
I
do.
love God, I love people, I tell jokes, I do stand up, I'm visible online, I do all these things. And for me, I've always ran into people like the idea of me,
Talk about
but
it.
they can't handle the
handle-
reality
That's
of me.
it.
And it's not
Mhm.
even have anything to do with other men. It's just that she's so like
Yeah.
much, and not even a bad way, but it's just like, if I am not strong or secure in who I am as a man, to know I have this woman that is a firecracker, is a powerhouse, does this stuff, cool with everybody, just a
Mhm.
jovial person. Small
Mhm.
things like that is crazy because people are like, why are you single? It's like, because
That's
I'm
why.
I'm
Right.
myself. Like, what do you mean yourself?
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I'm a good time. Like, not even in a
Yeah.
flirtatious
Yeah.
way, but like I walk in the room and I own it.
That's
I'm
it.
You light
talking
up
to
the
everybody.
room.
That's it.
Niggas, excuse me.
No, you good.
No,
no,
like,
What'd you say these niggas be on?
Niggas don't like that. Niggas don't like that. They
Yeah.
want you to be quiet and meek, and there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
being quiet and meek, but that's just not me. So I
Right.
know that in my life that it's going to take me a little
Yeah.
longer to
Yeah.
find my husband
For
to be able
sure.
to champion me. I told her in the car, she has a boyfriend that champions her. She's so blessed because it's hard to really find that these days, because men will like to minimize what you do.
Yeah.
So to your point, in my 20s, the idea of marriage, but I already knew I was like on a mission kind of.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
this is my thing, because as people who are all success driven
Mm-hmm,
at the table here, you understand that you have to be very intentional
mm-hmm.
about achieving success.
Mhm.
From like what you plan, what you do, where you go, what you read, what you
Mhm.
do, everything about your being
Mhm.
has to attract the success in order for you to have it.
Yeah.
Do you realistically think you could even put yourself in a position to attract any level of a husband if you don't
1000%.
whoa, hold on. You can't miss the if.
Okay,
Right.
Okay, let me hear.
Because I'm hearing Chelsea, and Chelsea's like, yo, marriage, maybe. It'll come when it come, but that's not important to me right now.
Mhm,
If it's this thing that could or could not happen,
mhm.
can you really attract it?
What,
That's my because
what do you mean?
Yeah,
like,
like,
could you, like yeah, break
explain
it
that.
down.
here's what I'm saying. If somebody thinks of success, and let's use it, because I think like success is probably one of the most beautiful and parallel the examples that we can use of going and get something that you want.
Mhm,
And when I think of success, nothing about that is accidental.
mhm.
Mhm.
Everything about that is very intentional from the time I get up to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's very intentional.
Mhm.
But when someone doesn't necessarily really want marriage to the point where it's something that could or could not happen,
Mhm.
is it likely that they will attract men who have husband qualities?
That's a great question.
That's a great question. And my answer to that is no.
That's a great question. And I think
But
that's
see,
an accurate
that's the
answer.
thing, because is that not the reason that you probably have these situations that you have in dating?
100%.
Mhm.
100%. I told myself, I said, you manifest by your thinking and your speaking and your doing.
Mhm.
Men are just not my priority. And I think that's why men aren't a priority, because they're not a priority. So I'm not meeting them. I'm not talking to them, because it's not my priority. But when I open my heart to say, God, I want a person, because when in my prayer life, I'm thinking about like, okay, this next opportunity and the success, my prayer, and then like marriage be like the bottom. Like it'd be like, okay, God, what's up, whatever,
Mhm.
So
But
this year,
can I say this?
sure.
But you're somebody's favor though.
yeah.
There's a man out there that is not going to reach something because he has yet to get to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even though it's not a priority, it's like, God, I know it's not a priority, but make me ready to be a wife, because
Right.
it is, you got success attached to your marriage.
I agree with that. And that's until the point is like, yes, but I'm looking for a purpose partner.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
when me and my husband come
No,
together.
no. You're not looking for a purpose.
Okay.
That's
you're
my
right.
point.
You're right.
You're
right.
not
Okay,
looking
let's
for a
scale it
purpose
back.
partner.
Wait.
Okay.
What is a purpose?
That's
partner?
what you want, but you're not
Meaning
looking
that
for it.
example, light example, right? Let's say like, like I meet you, you already do this, right?
Mhm.
We get together, we get married. Now how do we build something even bigger?
How do we intertwine?
Now let's open a
Mhm.
production studio, babe. Let's do that. Let's now have people rent out our space. Let's make more money doing this.
That sounds
Now-
like a business partner.
That's what it sounds like.
That's, no, it's
That's what it sounds like.
it's a part of the marriage.
Yeah, it is a part of the
It's a
marriage.
part of marriage, and then we go into ministry doing it. Like now that our
Absolutely.
our marriage is deemed quote unquote successful within us. Now how can we pour back into others?
That's what makes
you
it
know?
a purpose
Hold on,
partner.
That's what I'm
wait.
saying.
Describe him outside of business.
Okay, I got it. 'Cause now this is what I did think about. Okay, so this is these are my things. So he has the 3 S's. Okay, he has to be saved, he has to be supportive, and he has to be secure.
Ooh,
So
that's
these
good.
are the type of man saved, love the Lord, hello, hallelujah, relationship, not just church, supportive of my endeavors because I'm going to be supportive of his, and secure, meaning that when I walk in the room, however, what I have got going on, whatever I make, that don't matter, babe. I support you. Like I'm secure in who I
He won't
am.
diminish in himself.
He will
because of
not
that.
diminish himself or diminish me. That's it. And then we're gonna get into faith and finances because
Come
this is
on.
money. Come on, we gonna talk about it. Don't be having no money. That be the problem. Where my camera at? You know,
Wait,
money.
right here, right here,
Niggas
right
don't be
here.
having no money. Get off these dating apps. Y'all ain't got no money. I don't want to go to
But
Outback.
that's a fact.
Oh
That's a
my
fact.
God.
Get some money. Goddamn.
Y'all keeping it 1,000 right now.
She said she don't want to go to Outback.
If I can go get some money, why you can't?
That's the problem.
So you like
That's,
cheesecake?
no.
You like cheesecake?
That's the
Factory?
problem. That's the
Tight.
attitude. That's the attitude that a lot of men are complaining about with women.
What's that?
What's that? Yeah.
Is if I can do this, why can't you?
Men are complaining
men?
about women not going to get the bag.
Men
No,
complaining
the
about
attitude.
the attitude. The
Oh,
attitude
okay.
is if I can do this, why can't you?
Because babe, we have the same 24
But that's
hours.
valid.
We have the same 24
Is that not
And
a
see-
valid point?
Now, I will say this. Let me say this because again, I will go back to things that are just there. We are black. Okay, you are a black man.
Mhm.
It is not the same experience out in the world as a white man, Latino, Asian, whatever. So that's the first
Sure.
thing that's going to stop you. That's the difference. But also, I'm a black woman. So I have a different experience in the workplace as well. Neither one of us is making the money we really should be making for real. But my thing is all about ambition. It's all about ambition. I'm not saying you have to be ambitious as me, but I'm saying that when I say I got the same 24 hours as you, why not? If my mind is like, well, let me get a bag, let me, do makeup, do hair, Uber Eats. Why are you not figuring out how you can get it? I don't know. Flip some pieces. I don't care.
Well, see, on one hand, I
Sell drugs,
understand
nigga. I
that.
don't care.
Right. On one hand, I understand that sentiment if there was a major discrepancy in the income.
Okay.
Right. If you figuring out how to make $200,000 a year and you dealing with a guy who's still working at McDonald's, then that makes sense.
Mhm.
Right.
But the men that are finding this issue with the women, it's not a major discrepancy. It's like, yo, the man making 100,000, maybe the woman is making 95,000.
Oh no, I don't.
Right.
Yeah,
But that same attitude comes when it's not. It's literally it comes when a woman is making she surpassed a certain threshold in money making.
yeah.
That's when the issue comes. Because women, this thing when I was dating my 20s, women used to say this to me all the time: "You're emotionally unavailable." I really didn't understand what that meant.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right now that I've had my experience dealing with dating women that were in the 30 somethings like myself, which I typically don't do at this point, I found that the women are emotionally unavailable. This is what I mean by that. If they make a certain threshold, they're less likely to trust. They're less likely to be open to certain ideas. They're less likely to just take instruction or direction from a man. And that's, to me, that's emotional unavailability.
And let me speak to that because I hear this a lot and I do not disagree because I've seen things online where this woman was like, I went on this date and this guy, he opened the door, he got me flowers. He led and she's like, I thought it was corny. I almost pulled my wig off because I was like, girl, like that, like, because we do so much success in the world, I want to turn my brain off. I want to be led. I want to listen. I want you to lead. Please.
Yes.
Like I am looking for a leader because I feel like I'm a leader in my own right. And I am a person, I will not project that onto my partner. I don't emasculate and I want you to feel like you lead because that you can lead because I'm looking for a leader.
Yeah. I just had this conversation with my boyfriend.
And I know that there are women out there that do make money and say like, you ain't about to be telling me that's wrong to me. I would never agree with that. And even if I have friends that do it, I will never say it's okay to treat your man any kind of way because he make 5,000 less or less than you in general because you made a choice to be with that man.
Right.
So let him be a man. And unfortunately, if you feel like he's not a man of your standard, you should have never entered into that. It's not fair for me to come in with y'all where y'all at. It's not my job to change you. We're in our 30s. It's to say who you are and accept that and say like, I can't accept that. But to come in, dog you out, emasculate you, treat you wrong, try to change you, I don't agree with that at all. I'm just going to take who you are and say, hey, is this somebody that I can build with? And I'll say yes, or I'll be like, no. And I feel like in the dating process, I'm just an observer. I'm not even giving you restaurant suggestions. I want to see what your bag is like and what your mind is like. If you like, I want to go to Outback, I'm like, okay, whatever, mid-tier, okay. So then I'm like, okay, you want an Applebee's bottom tier? Okay, I'm just trying to see. But the thing is, I'm not gonna dog you. I'm just accepting. I want to see who you are and say, hey, I can rock with this, or this is just not my flavor, But to change you and make you feel awful and not listen to you because of that, it's not fair to you.
Okay, so. I just got so many questions, so many concerns. No, it's not that. It's not that because I see what you're saying, but I don't know if that's all the way true.
And let me add to this.
I could agree with that.
As a woman, as an independent woman, I don't care how much money a woman makes. We don't need a man to take care of us, but we desire a man that can if we need
100%.
We still want, for me, I'll speak for me. I desire a man that I can submit to, trust in your leadership, can cover me, can provide. I can do that for myself. But if I should need you,
that's it.
Then we desire that kind of man that can if we need you to.
Yep. And
that's the difference.
And the nucleus of that is God at the center.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
that's what's missing from a lot of situations in dating today is God is not at the center.
Come on.
He's not at the core of who each individual person is, and he
Yep.
ain't at the core of that relationship.
Facts.
People text, meet each other, have sex, situationship. Now emotions involved. Everybody crazy, wacky online, doing woo woo, projecting. It's a mess.
Mhm.
It's a mess to me.
Yeah, but how can you say God needs to be at the center, but then say Applebee's is bottom tier and Outback is mid tier? It's
I'm-
like,
I'm- so-
is lifestyle at the center, or is God at the center? That's what I'm
So
trying to
here's
figure
the thing, both.
It's a
Because
preference.
because let me tell you why. I'm not saying bottom tier based on my opinion. I'm talking about if you Google what a 5-star restaurant is based off of a 1-star, these are just statistics here. I'm not saying it's bottom tier or top tier.
But are
I'm
you looking
saying
for a man with a bag, or are you looking for a man that's with God?
I'm looking for a man
Both.
that's with God. I said faith and finances.
Both.
Faith and finance. And
Well, I
listen,
gotta choose.
but finances are subjective. You know,
Right,
I'm not
right, I
saying
agree.
that rich either. What I'm
Mhm.
saying is that I don't mind going on a date, you know, places like Outback or whatever. But if I want to say, hey, tonight, let's go eat somewhere, you know, nicer or better, more expensive, and you can't do that, then this not for me. Let me tell you why, because that's how I already live my life as a single
Come
woman.
on.
So I'm not coming
That's
into a
it.
partnership with you and then lowering how I live my
If
life.
I can do this by myself.
if I can do it by myself, because then I don't want to make you feel bad either. Like,
But don't you don't you see how that's an issue for men?
no,
If
I
you
don't.
saying if you
Well, tell
saying
us why.
Yeah, tell us why.
Because
Wait,
if you
let,
dealing
let, let me say this.
Go ahead,
I
go
don't
ahead.
have a problem eating at a hole in the wall because I can get down.
I love
and
a
I don't
hole
have
in the
problem going
wall.
to a 5-star restaurant. So if my
Yeah.
husband watching.
see,
Okay.
this sound like a wife right here. This sound like a wife. You hear that?
Because she's willing to take a $20 meal.
I am.
No,
I
because the
am.
thing here
yeah,
is this thing.
absolutely.
And wait, who said that we wouldn't?
Thank you. I never said I
No.
wouldn't.
I never
No,
said
no,
that
no,
I
no, no,
wouldn't.
no. It was just clearly stated I'm not willing to downgrade my lifestyle.
Exactly.
So
I
see,
said
so
that.
see, that's the
No,
no.
no,
so-
no,
It was it was just
No.
clearly said
It
that.
was.
I said no. When I listen to what I said clearly, I said I will go to a hole in the wall. I will go to a Chili's. But if one day I'm like, hey, babe, let's go here, and you can't do it, or that's a problem for me because I can get up tomorrow and go to Mastro's.
She did say that if one day.
But if you
Yes.
it's
Chili,
about balance.
but if you, it is about balance. And my thing is, so that's why when I date now, like I said, I observe. If a guy is like, I'm like, what kind of restaurant you like? And he like, sometimes I dabble here and there. I'm like, okay, so we kind of live the
Yeah.
same way. But I don't want to have to like bring a man up to my lifestyle. I kind of want to meet you where you are. I want you to meet me where my lifestyle is. Do I eat at Mastro's every day? No. But I'm saying if it's a Tuesday, I don't want you to be like, oh, we can go there on your birthday. No, baby, I do that on a Wednesday. I don't want to go on my birthday.
But
Yeah,
also,
so-
I will say you can elevate his lifestyle.
I'm not.
Yes. Well,
Because
hold on,
I've been
one
in a
second.
relationship
I'm
where,
not-
just being honest.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Let's actually, well, first of all, let's actually kind of reset the room here because
Okay.
we broke 1,000 people in here, and welcome
yeah.
to everybody in the
I'm
chat
glad-
right now.
And I'm glad y'all watching this right now because I think some real truths about to get exposed right now.
Oh, Lord.
And listen, I need everybody to go ahead and hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button if you ain't here right now. Tell us that you like what's going on. The chat is popping right now.
It is.
Shout out to all the initiates in the chat right now. We talking dating in your 30s. We got 3 beautiful young ladies on here, and y'all can already tell us going down. The initiation hotline is coming. So y'all get ready to come on here and join the conversation here with us. All right, it's happening. But go ahead, Ryan.
So okay, so I agree with that. Y'all are beautiful young ladies, right? Looking to date intentionally to marry. So I'm just trying to figure out what the actual issue is. He talked about lifestyle. Okay. Now my thinking is men, they're gonna make a range of income.
Mhm.
But if you already have set in your mind that you will not be willing to, let's say, lower or decrease your standard for lifestyle, then that's going to cut out a lot of potentially good men.
Mhm.
And like Ronnie stated that, hey, it's a man out there that's not able to reach his highest levels because he hasn't met you yet.
Mm.
So if you're not even willing to take a step back on your lifestyle, which to me in the long run is just not that important if you're looking to build a family, because a good woman can help
Mhm.
that man take to the next level.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I think what I'm saying is getting misconstrued a lot because I don't want anybody to think that I am not going to be open to somebody who can't do those things. It's not that. It's just that what I'm saying is variety. I want a variety. I want to say that if I want to go to this nice place, I want to be able to do that. That is all I'm saying. We can go to Chili's, we can go to Hole and all whatever. I'm down with that. I eat everything. But when it's time to do things that are nicer, I want to be able to do that. That's all I'm saying. So it's just that I've already been exposed myself to nicer things, to living a way that I deem is appropriate for me. So what I'm saying is, it's like, if that is not example, like, you know, if I meet you and you are not in that place, or that's not your desire, or even to be open to it, because niggas be like, I don't eat sushi, I don't eat oysters. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Are you open? You want to try it? Like, no. So it's like, you close-minded. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Well, what I think a man hears when he hears that is you not willing to get on his level because you already put in the work.
What level is that?
Whatever level he's at when you meet him.
But but you, I don't disagree with you, because I told you in the beginning, I just observe a life you already live, and I say,
Right.
if I can agree with that, but I'm not here to change you. And will it knock out a lot of potential partners for me? Possibly, but I know that in the past, I have been lenient on a lot of things, and I'm not saying where I'm at is necessarily right either, because this is for therapy to unpack. But I was lenient on a lot of things, and I told myself in my 30s, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I was miserable. I was awful. I was settling. I was miserable. People were doing nice shit, and I'm like, this nigga on the couch, I gotta eat McDonald's. Like, I don't want that, you know. So I built my life to, and there's no shade to nobody who's in that space. I want everybody to know, watching, I come from a great place. I'm not one of those women that bash men. I don't have an ill heart towards people who are struggling. We all grinding, we all trying to do it. But when it comes to the matters of the heart and love, for me,
You
there
know
is
what you want.
I know what I want,
That's
and there is a small particular. This is like women that's like, I want a man with a degree. I don't really care about a degree, you know, but that also takes a lot of men out when you say, I want a man to have a degree.
A few of them.
I just want you to be a person who has God at the core, ambitious, and willing to, like, and you want to be exposed and do the finer things in life. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's fair. I just think that it's, you know, I literally was, I think this was Saturday night. I was at a bar, and it was this group of divorced women. There's 3 of them hanging out. Then it was age range between like 55 and 60 years old. Beautiful women too. And I'm having a conversation with them. All of them very successful. They got like this travel situation going on where they're making some good money. And one of them in particular I was talking to, she was stating that the men that she deals with is they doing okay. But she says basically that they have a hard time, you know, kind of being secure about the opportunity that she is able to make and provide for herself. So I asked her, I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, okay, well, what do you do to, you know, kind of help these men get over these emotional issues that you say they have? She was like, I do this, I do that. And I say, okay, well, you know, when they stand over, like, where y'all stand over at? When y'all go places, where y'all go to? And she was naming all these places, all these things they do. And I said, will he be able to do those things without you? And she was like, no. So I was like, how can you expect a man to be okay when he literally knows in the back of his mind, I can't do none of this shit without this woman?
That's what I'm saying.
So my thing is, that issue is going to continue to persist for a woman as she get, because this thing, you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna be more successful.
Okay, so let me ask
But
you a
you're gonna be a
question
little bit more-
from a man.
Okay.
What do you suggest we do then?
No, that's the thing. I am trying to figure out, is there a better way? Is there some kind of middle ground where a woman can still find herself pursuing financial independence just in case shit goes wrong, right? And still also be pursuing of becoming a wife and the things that a wife should do and the things that a wife's mindset should be. So, hey, I see this man where he currently at. I see he's got a guy. He's got a little bit of ambition. He got some sense about himself. Where can I fit myself in to make sure I can 10x whatever effort he's already putting in?
I'm more of that person. I'm more of, if first of all, you have to have a relationship with God. You have to. If you have a relationship with God, you have a vision for your life, I'm all in. You know what I mean? If you're going to provide for me, cover me, protect me, be there, support me, I am all in. I have dated men of very high caliber and they just didn't cut it for me.
Come on.
Because they didn't know God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had men pay my rent, all this type of stuff, did not know God. I was not interested in them. And for me, it's all about purpose. Like I said, I love God. That's me. I am waiting on God to send me that person who is God ordained. And that's what it boils down to. Your God ordained spouse.
I have a question for you, Ronnie, to piggyback up everything you just said. Let's say he wasn't able to provide, but he passed and everything else. Then what?
That's still my man.
if he can
Like,
provide.
yeah,
Good for you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because my thing is, I would rather have somebody that is in the mud with me and we come up together.
So I see. Here's the thing. So what do you mean can't provide? Because that's also subjective. Because I mean, ain't no romance without finance. So what is we talking about here?
Well, I saw the episode that y'all did recently with Nona talking about being the breadwinner. So what if you were the sole breadwinner? Let's say maybe he made some money, but not enough to really help financially.
Okay.
You would still be satisfied in that relationship if he couldn't pull his weight
I would.
financially.
And you know, with that being said, there are a lot of conversations with women who say that they can do it, but then they said the men get really mean because they're not okay with it. I'm not saying all men,
Yeah.
but you the breadwinner, you've accepted him, but has he accepted himself? So then the projections come out to you. So how happy can the relationship be if the man is not happy and secure and accepting to say, my woman makes X amount of dollars, but I'm going to treat her well? It's very rare because you hear stories that end because I was okay with him. I didn't mind him not making this money, but he just got, very nasty and,
They
he
feel
was inferior. So
sometimes.
that's also like,
Sometimes.
how do we navigate that space of accepting it and having a man feel secure in that space? It's just hard. And what I don't agree with is in these platforms, in these conversations, they will tell Black women to date out of their race. And I would tell them, I will never do that. I will never, for the things that I desire, I will be patient and find a Black man that can do that. I'm not dating a white man to get what I want. It's just not my desire.
It's interesting, man. I actually had a conversation this past weekend, man. This weekend, I was over here. I'm doing my finances, looking at my own personal money, and I'm like, damn, I personally need to get my shit together.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like, I'm looking at my own
So we
finances.
all that way.
And
you
listen,
know?
and listen, like on the spectrum of like men, I've always been like at just the top tier of wherever I was in, from sports to school to now entrepreneurship. I'm doing well, but I'm still I'm extremely dissatisfied with where I am right now as a man financially. So much so, I'm dating a young lady, and I'm in my mind thinking, damn, I'm like, I don't want to have no kids right now. I don't want to have no marriage right now. Like, I'm nowhere near ready for any of that. So much so it's kind of plaguing me. I'm like, I don't even think this shit coming in within the next year or two. I'm calling my mentor. I'm talking to him. I'm getting some game.
Yeah.
And he like, you know what? You need to have this conversation
With her.
with this young lady.
Okay.
And I say, you know what? I'm about to do that.
Yeah.
So I call and I tell her exactly what the hell going on. I'm like, yo, listen, this is the situation. I'm about to really bunker down. I'm about to really be like, I'm gonna have to really be very conservative about what I'm doing here because I'm trying to get to XYZ.
Yeah.
And her response to that was, man, well, listen, perfect. Look, listen, I need to do the same thing. As a matter of fact,
I love
We
that.
had that
We
as a
like
matter of
that.
fact, you know,
Yeah.
I've been putting this away. I've been putting that away here. I felt like I was gonna be with a man just like you. So look, whatever you got, look, whatever you need, I got it saved up over here.
Yes.
Blase, blase, blah.
Yes.
This is the situation we in. And it really actually made me think like, wow, obviously I'm a man, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always gonna figure out how to make shit work on what I have for everybody around me. Always. I'm not gonna take anybody's resources in consideration. But hearing that be communicated to me made me really think, wow, I'm really looking at this shit the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, it really made me really consider how selfish not only we are as a culture, but even how I was thinking so individualistically.
Yeah.
And that's really what is happening in most of these conversations.
Yes.
Because the
Yes.
reality of it is, it's never really, yeah, I'll go ahead and downgrade my lifestyle with a dude that's building and doing XYZ. It's just nope, hell no. He want to go here. That ain't my flavor. I don't like that.
But what you
My palate has evolved. And I'm not.
Right.
I'm not just pointing at you.
Just in general.
I'm just generally speaking.
But see, the thing about it is, one, she's amazing for that because that's what true partnership is.
Absolutely.
But when you see, the thing about it is that conversation she had with you, or even if a man would have with me, I look at the core of the person, and you seem like a good person just by our interactions. Whatever, I don't really know. I have maybe let her call me. You know, I'm not sure, but I mean,
You're
like,
right. Don't worry.
You just seem like a solid dude, and it's like you observe men that you're dating or dealing with, and how they walk through life and how they handle situations. And so, if obviously, if you said, I need to get this together, X, Y, and Z, and she does too, that's what partnership is about. But if you watch this nigga and he bad with money, he got bad attitude, walk around selfish, no ambition, complaining a lot, X, Y, and Z, and he tell you that, you're not going to want to feel the support because I've already observed how you live your life. And it's like I'm gonna be like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to offer up advice or support because you don't seem open to it anyway, and you already kind of live recklessly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, all of this stuff I keep saying is subjective to the person and the man you're dealing with, because I'm not anti-support. I'm not anti any of that stuff or anti-elevating the lifestyle. I look at the core. Now that I'm in my 30s, since we're talking about dating in the 30s, I look at the core of the person. That's the most important thing to me. Are you a good person? If I had a son, would I be proud that he is just like his father? That is important to me now in my 30s. Can I be proud? Can I tell my son, you are just like your dad, and I love it. I love that about you. You have a heart like your dad. You have a mind. What is your intellect like? What is your heart like? Are you a good person? It's niggas won't even open the chair for people, pull out the chair. Won't even let women sit up, or elderly people, small stuff like that. And Michelle Obama said that. She was like, don't even look at the exterior factors of financials and stuff. She was like, who is he when he doesn't have those things? And now that I'm dating in my 30s, that's what I look like. I know we clowning about Outback and all that other stuff, but these dudes don't be good people. And that'd be the problem.
Now here's the thing again. I still don't think, with you personally,
Okay.
I still don't think, and I think this with most just people in general, I still don't think they've intentionally started meeting good guys.
Yeah.
Like, cause that's the thing. If you have not stated, like in your mind, if you have not said, yo, you know what? I'm ready to do this thing. Like, I'm really ready to go about putting myself in a position to have a long-term partnership. Then think about what you're actually, if that's not important to you, think about the kind of guys you'll typically be around.
The caliber of men you're attracting.
So if that's the case, it's not necessarily, and I think that's the experience most people are having in their 30s, or just dating, period. It's like the broke person that wants money.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. It's like the person that says, man, I really want to get this bag.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to read.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be around people that read.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to networking events.
Yeah.
I'm not going to save my money.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to put myself in uncomfortable positions to change that. I think what we do in most cases is we put ourselves, we want this amazing guy, but we don't go to therapy. We don't do the work. We don't really even think about, we're nowhere near around where these amazing guys are. We looking at the bars, we looking at the clubs, we're looking at the most ratchet spots, and then we say, man, these dudes ain't shit.
Well, I think that might be somebody's story, and I don't disagree with you, but I don't frequent those areas or those things, or I don't find men there. I think, to your point, I do agree with you are attracting something. And I could say that when I was emotionally unavailable, I was attracting emotionally unavailable men, right? But I've made myself in this new year open to the possibilities of dating. Like I said, I just came from a date. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm way more open to it. I ain't picked the place. I didn't have no necessarily crazy standard with it. I was seeing where he wanted to go. I pulled up. I showed up. I stayed for a conversation. You know,
how was that, by the way?
It was great. I enjoyed what?
Friend.
I enjoyed myself.
Hold on. Brittany got the truth. Hit us with the truth bomb, Brittany.
It's not the truth bar.
Do this.
Brittany, did I not say I was open to?
But listen, hold on. When you came home to my place and told me about the date,
don't give all, because
no, don't be like that. Don't be like that.
No, because
but I do, as your friend, and we have these real talks.
Yes,
okay? You do have to change your perspective a little bit.
About,
hold on, because when you came home, you said he did all of the right things.
He might be watching, babe. So let's.
No. Come on now, we gotta take this home.
Let's keep it 100 though.
Let's keep it 96.
Okay.
No. He's secure. That man, he's secure. He's not worried about this. He's not worried about this.
He's one of the S's. He's the S's.
But hold on, I mean this out of love because I want you to find love. You said, relax. I got you.
Because I'm scared about what you about to say.
No. I got you.
Hey,
because I was
bring the bottle over here. Get another shot.
You said he did all of the right things. You even said, I'm moving to Atlanta, but he wasn't the right man because of things that you can change. You said he had,
Oh, no, Brittany. Okay,
No,
Brittany,
no.
Brittany,
I got you,
no,
I
no,
got you.
no.
Okay,
Brittany,
wait,
don't, Brittany, don't do that because
hold
that
on.
is not okay.
There's certain things that I feel like with the right woman, you can elevate him. You can help him change and
Okay,
upgrade.
okay.
If he's treating you right in all the other ways.
Brittany,
But
Brittany,
to
I
say
can't
there ain't
believe
no-
this. I can't
It's out of
believe
love.
No, this not about out of love, Brittany, because I
Tell
can't
me.
talk about it because he said he was gonna watch. Let's move on.
She say you breaking girl code. You breaking
listen,
girl
listen,
No,
code.
he-
listen.
I didn't say no name.
You're not committed
Brother,
to that,
listen,
man.
we
If he
not-
can't understand that, if he can't understand that, he don't
No,
understand
Jay,
you.
I got it. No,
you don't
I
have no
got
commitment to him.
no, Brittany. Because I again, like I said before, I am not a person that goes into things wanting. I don't want to make anybody feel awful about who they are. So there are never
Mhm.
things. I would never expose somebody on a platform like this about any shortcomings that they had. That's not right. That's not okay.
Who knows?
I don't
this
think that was a
dude?
short.
What do you-
Hold on,
what do you-
whoa,
what do you
whoa,
mean
whoa,
who
whoa,
knows
whoa,
this
listen,
dude?
I don't want to get into. I don't want to
He
get into
could
the
be
who knows the dude.
watching.
Let's talk about just in general though.
Okay.
Let's get. I just want to get the essence of the message.
Yeah,
Tell
Okay,
him
let's get
about
the
the date.
essence.
The date sounded beautiful. Now, granted,
I
It
can't
did
believe this
sound
happening
good.
right now.
Hold
This
on,
is
wait,
insane.
but
This
hold
is
on.
crazy.
I know attraction is important.
Right.
Attraction is very important.
Yes.
Right.
But let's talk about how
Chemistry
you
is
were treated,
important.
Yes.
How you were treated. on
Let me
the
tell you
date.
something. Chemistry, okay, and compatibility. Either you be compatible with somebody, chemistry, it'd be chemistry, compatibility. Like you can't have one without the other. People are not bad people. They just don't be the people for you, and that's okay.
Is that established
That's
in one
what-
date?
That's what I was thinking. One date,
Is that
you already
established in
no
one date?
chemistry, no compatibility.
Out
Out
in
back,
one
no.
date?
I
To the
cannot
point where
wait.
You said you
I
wanted
cannot
to
wait
move
to
to
be
Atlanta.
offline so I can tell y'all that, like seriously,
Another
like
No,
one.
no, no. Well, this
Because-
thing,
She want
is-
another
why
one.
is it a big deal not to just say? Because this is the
Because-
reality.
Just
of
be
what's
PC about
happening
it.
in
no,
dating.
it's not
You might
okay.
help somebody.
No,
watching.
it's not okay.
I'ma
Let's
drop
move
a
on.
poll.
Let's move on.
Should she share?
No,
what
I
happened on the
should
date?
Hey
No,
y'all,
she
but
not.
listen, check it out.
No, she should not.
It's the initiation hotline time, y'all. So
Thank
we are
you.
going to go ahead and we're going to drop the link in the chat. Baby sweating over here. We're going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat for y'all to come in here and join this conversation with us, okay? I want to talk to some people here that's actually dating in their 30s, and I want y'all to come in and join the conversation with us and just let us know your thoughts on what's going on right now. I want
Yeah.
you to go ahead and click that link that we're about to put in here. So Ryan, let us know.
I'm gonna drop that link. But I think that was a real life testimony that you got us missing out on, because I think that a lot of people can learn from that situation you just had on that date.
And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. She feel like we just hold on, wait, she's checking her phone already. This dude must really have some potential. I
No,
like
he
this.
don't, and that's why that's crazy that she did that right
Well,
there.
I'm sure he
But
would.
no.
First off, all of us men, we want to get feedback, and the ladies do too. Because I'm a little
It's a
worried,
real
honestly. Yeah,
conversation.
because
It's
I
a
go out
real
on
Well, y'all have
dates.
y'all
conversation.
real conversations about y'all dating experience, and y'all
We do.
expose everything.
I just exposed
I
it.
just- but
I just exposed a
I
very
don't-
vulnerable
I don't mind
conversation.
exposing. I'm an open book. I don't mind.
Yeah,
talking about
I have
mine.
never in my life said I'm open book. That's never came out of my mouth.
I
I am not
am.
open book. I am closed chapters. Okay.
He said he's a closed chapter.
I
But that's
am
what you
when
gotta
it
watch
comes
out
to
for
helping
these
people.
ladies, fellas.
Okay.
Some
But
You
of them
see,
better,
close
but-
minded.
you better be quiet.
Now here's the
I'm
thing.
not into hurting men and all that. Don't
no,
do that.
no, we don't want to hurt men.
Yeah, we don't.
But I think there
They need to
are
learn,
some. I think there are some realities that it sounds good. I want a man that's centered in God. I want this and I want that. But sometimes that's not all it takes for these brothers to make it to that next level. Sometimes,
Yeah, because how can you even
Sometimes them-
find out those things if you don't even go on more than one date? It's impossible. Unless he brought a Bible and he prayed over the meal or something like that.
Y'all don't have no commercial to cut to.
As a matter of fact, actually,
Call him Brian. real
Actually,
quick.
what I do, we got my brother. Oh man, we showed the brother. Look, he's a star of the show right now. We top of the Ryan, get back over here on the camera, man. What's up with you, brother?
Oh shoot! Oh here,
Brian, what's up? Hey, mute the TV, brother. How you living, brother?
doing great, man. Doing great. Hey, so this is Brian from Canton, Georgia. 38 years old.
Yeah.
So Brian, you gotta let us know, man. So we got that. It was so crazy. I
Hey,
was
pull up the
actually
photo,
out-
Lionel. Pull up the
Pull
photo.
up the photo real quick. I was out on Saturday night. I was literally telling a group of people about how successful the cars have been so far and how they was making an impact. And then I get your email, which I should not be checking emails while I'm at the bar, but it was like 11:30. I checked the email and I saw that photo and I'm like, yo, this is incredible. Look at that photo. That's so beautiful, man. So real quick, before we get into your question,
Which one is your lady?
which one is your lady?
Oh, my lady didn't actually show up that night.
Hold on. Hold on.
Lady was
Go
talking.
back to Brian.
Whoa.
Brian, hold on. So hold on, wait. Let's give some context.
Incredible.
Because the first time Brian called in, we had some issues. because Brian's taking his lady out on some amazing dates and experiences.
I mean,
I think the first date we went
Paris.
to. No, I think the first time
We went to Dubai.
Y'all went to Dubai already.
Yeah.
Okay, Paris is coming up for Valentine's Day.
That's not happening either.
And wait, it was coming up.
Yeah, it was coming up.
What we discovered was that it's a miscommunication going on. Some reciprocity was not happening. You communicated that you felt like things were not reciprocal. You was moving a little fast. I will also admit it. And you felt like things were not aligned. What did you discover from that conversation, that we had?
Well, everybody in the world agrees that I move kind of fast because, I'm just a person that loves hard, loves fast, and I know what I want. So I definitely make my intentions known. And everybody the young lady that I'm still dating her, but we're kind of like slowing things down a little bit. And, but we're still making progress. Like we might not be going to Paris, but we're going to Las Vegas for the Lovers and Friends Festival. So.
Oh wow! So listen, that festival is about to be crazy. I think Monica was saying she need to get her invite onto the festival.
It's already sold out in
I'm
like an hour.
What was the main issue with why Paris is not happening now?
So again, as you know, I moved too fast. So like I think we went to Paris in 3 months of only dating, and it felt like it was just going faster, and she felt a little bit more pressure about going to Paris. And I told her, I was like, hey, if you don't want to go to Paris, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. So I asked her if she wanted to back out, and we backed out of Paris. And I was like, it's cool. I just refunded everything. And then I just be honest,
Please.
I just be honest. I'm over here talking circles. So pretty much we haven't really solidified our relationship in the States. Like we don't sleep over each other's house. We're kind of celibate in a sense.
Okay, that was about to be my big question. So y'all are not having sex.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, is this are you celibate because you said you wanted to be celibate, or what's the situation?
We're pretty much celibate because I ain't gonna say I want to be celibate because I like her. I would love to have sex with her, but she's not ready to move at that level. She ain't ready to move to that level.
You don't want to have sex with you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
Not
All right,
yeah.
So check it out.
First off, let me tell you.
Here's the
go
thing.
to Paris with me, you don't have to be putting out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right. Wait. No, I just want to get down to it. Listen, I think you being abstinent, which I think is even a more correct word here, is beautiful when that's what y'all want to do, and y'all really focused and trying to get to a level.
Yeah,
but that's not the case. It's just somebody who don't want to give you access because they don't rock with you like that. Yeah. So at that point, she's not celibate. She just not having sex with you. Let's be clear. Let's use the right words. It's not celibacy. That's somebody who don't want to have sex with you.
Brian,
okay.
Come tonight.
So yes, please. And I'm Brian. I'm telling you, I'm not saying this to be harsh. I'm talking to you like I would talk to one of my homeboys I love.
Yeah.
It's all love. Now, did you get to a deeper did you guys achieve a deeper conversation of just how she just genuinely feels about you?
Yeah, so that's what I said. We have achieved a deeper conversation. So for example, I say about 2 weeks ago, I set up a really nice dinner in my basement. Candlelight, decorative table, everything. And I ordered food from Prime 120, which is a nice steak restaurant in Woodstock. And and it was a 3-part date. The first part was romance, what I'm saying, to like just romance her, with the thoughts, a gesture of, candlelight dinner in my basement. Then there was the second part date where it was an intense conversation where, I really want to get on the same page because it was the week after we had that, I was on the show with y'all. I had an intense conversation on the couch with her and talk about, hey, how do you feel about me? Becoming aligned and, where we moving. And then, and it was really tense. It was pretty tense. and I heard her heart on it, and she heard my heart. And then the third part of the date was
No. Let's stay here.
okay.
When you say I heard her heart, what did her heart say about
So,
you?
okay. So her heart said that she really cares about me. You know, she doesn't want to move with me that she did in previous relationships. And to be completely honest with you, I tried to break it off with her. Like I tried to break up with her. And because you know, I didn't feel like me personally, and this is where my insecurity came in. I personally didn't feel like she really liked me.
Brian,
You know,
okay, that's what I want you to get to right here, Brian, because I already know she don't like you.
Yep.
I wanted to make sure you found that out, because the reality of it is when a woman is really into you, it's so clear. Like it is so clear. It's almost annoying when a woman is really into you. And it's a beautiful annoying. But what I mean by that is there's no confusion about where she stands when a woman really wants to be with you. And the fact that you're this lost and confused is a telltale sign about what's going down. Bro, y'all ain't just started. Y'all three months in and change. And it ain't no regular 3 months, because you don't went to Paris with a woman.
Which is you know, the thing is, somebody like the 3-part date, all of that sound good. Just sound like you did it at the wrong time with the wrong woman, because a woman is not going to be, you know, women, they're going to look at that. Clearly you got some resources, but she's going to look at how you go about allocating those resources.
Right.
And if you just, you know, cavalier spending money willy-nilly on a woman that you really haven't had the opportunity to even confirm that she actually likes you, in the back of her mind, she's going to subconsciously be thinking about that when she's evaluating you. So really with this particular woman, and it's funny, we were just talking about that, and I want Shells to chime in on this, because me personally, I think this is wrong. I think this is wrong. I do understand that women do this all the time, because a woman is going to justify in her mind and say, hey, what I was still thinking, I'm trying to evaluate.
And he offered it to me. That was him. He offered it.
I get that. I still think it's wrong, but I do understand the average woman's sentiment about that. But Shells, I want you to chime in this.
But hold on 1
Brian
second, because I'm still not even done with Brian, because
Okay.
this is just such like this. No,
debauchery.
this is big right here, Brian, because you made a huge. Because here's the biggest problem I have with what you're telling me. You found out something very big, and you have not been clear that you have cut this woman off. You clearly still have a door open.
Oh yeah, the door's still open.
And what that says a lot to me is just your standard. And if you allow this to happen, bro, I can almost guarantee the likelihood that this happens again is extremely high. What are you waiting for to go about breaking this off?
That's a very good question.
Bro, listen. The fact that she pretty much communicated to you in so much words that she does not like you. And you're
No, she never communicated that.
No.
She never.
Listen.
Oh, okay.
She communicates it every single day.
Right.
That's what you don't realize. And the thing about it is the fact that you are accepting of her actions. And when I say actions, I'm talking lack of intimacy, lack of affection, lack of buy-in, lack of everything. And you can keep going on with the things that she's lacking. Remember that hot meal you never get, even though that's something that's really important to you? All those things, it's a lot of lack going on in the relationship, and you stick in every day. So by the day, believe it or not, she's actually losing respect for you. The biggest thing that you can do is walk away from this woman and show her that you above this altogether. But again, what are you waiting for before you say I'm done with this?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think she feels that way towards me. I know I'm probably like looking in the chat like this guy can't be serious, but I'm not ready to walk away just yet.
Why though? Like, what is she doing for you? Like, what is she just? I mean, she's like a 10 out of 9. Like, what's the situation? I don't even understand.
Okay, so after we do have like good communication. Our communications are pretty spot on. Like we talked about everything. Like, but like she's like I actually did get a hot cooked meal today. So we today I had a hot cooked meal at her house, and I left around I'd say about 7 o'clock because I had to do some work here, but I've been watching the podcast instead of doing my homework. But there's and there she's turning around, and you're right. I'm not gonna say you're right, but there's a lot of women who have been like pursuing me, but I'm pretty much loyal and faithful to the one, you know.
Just for context, Brian, how old are you, by the way, brother?
38.
Okay, you're 38 years old. How old is this young lady?
35.
Okay, and you guys you've been dating since about last November.
Yeah, 4.5 months now.
What do you at this point? What are you looking for at this point to be the last straw? Or like, what is it now that she needs to do for her to bring this relationship to a place where you will be happy in it? What does that her performance need to look like for you now? Because I could tell you're still not happy with where the relationship currently is, but what would she need to do in order for you to be at that place?
And you know, I had this talk with her. It's just companionship. And it's just companionship, you know. That's all I really desire is companionship. And I tell her too, I desire companionship more than I desire sex. And of course, I definitely want sex 100%. I'm not gonna ever think no to sex. But I definitely want companionship. And you know, this weekend, you know, we definitely had our time. We went to Truth Lounge on Friday night. We were supposed to go to Knife Restaurant on Saturday night, but I understand why she backed out of that. But then we went to we spent the whole day together on Sunday.
Why did she back out of the date on Saturday? That's when you
okay.
said
So and I'm telling you why she backed out. So I had discussed with some of my coworkers that I was going to break up with her. Just like I'm discussing, you know, this on the show, and
right.
I had this conversation with her. Like I told her I was on the podcast, and I talked about how I wasn't feel like I was reciprocating what I was putting out in the relationship. So I told my coworkers that I was gonna break up with her, and the day I actually tried to break it off. You know, I was very transparent. You know, I was like, I told my coworkers that I was gonna break up with you. But they're the same coworkers that was at the dinner on Saturday, and she felt some kind of way about coming to the dinner when I talked to the coworkers about breaking up with her. And so I told her like, hey, if you don't feel comfortable coming to the dinner, you don't have to come.
Well, in this case, I would have counseled on your ass too, because you're putting her in a very tough spot. But
yeah, that's why
talking about this issue, you sharing with your coworkers, talking about the issue. So this is in your leisure time. This is really, really bothering you, and your work time, this is really, really bothering you. You are emotionally overflowing from issues caused by this woman. You say your communication is good, but then you say the intimacy is not present. This thing, intimacy is communication. Mm-hmm. So she is communicating to you. She's communicating to you that you're a nice guy. I feel at the least bit safe with you, and I'm okay with you taking care of me in this way and spending money on me and giving me experiences that I would have not likely had without you. So at this point right now, what you're allowing her to do is use you.
Brian, check this out. Listen, this can go on for a while.
Right.
I'm gonna cut it off now so we can keep the show going.
Gotcha.
But I want you to look, action step, please, brother. I want you to read a book by Robert Glover. It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
That's a great
It's
one.
actually a really good book. I think really all men should read it, but I think that book will provide you some real relevant game to just some things that I think that are going on with you more so internally creating this young lady is literally, again, just a reaction or a consequence to some things I really think are internal. But what I'll tell you, brother, is look, much love to you. Please stay tapped in with us, whether through email or you joining in here, because I really want to follow through. And I'm happy to see you using those cards, brother. I appreciate you for going ahead and tuning into with us here again. Okay, brother?
Cool. I see it. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
I could imagine, man, I can't feel good. I mean, he pretty much have stated in so many words, he's begging this woman for some attention and affection. And as a last ditch effort, she said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna cook you a meal, but you got to leave at 7. I have never known a woman to cook me a meal and would even allow me to leave after the meal is cooked.
Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest, and a lot of people gonna be upset with me about this. But a woman who has sex, right? This is not no religious, she's not going through no religious celibacy. She has sex,
She's active.
and you want sex, and she does not want to have sex with you. And without any action plan, not, hey, I don't want to have sex before marriage. No. I'm just not having sex with you. That's a big problem.
Yeah, she's not into you, and he's delusional.
That's a big problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fellas, and y'all gotta catch small things like that, because again, it's a lot of red flags, but I think that's just one. And talking, let's see, it gets kind of complex because a brother like that, what do y'all think, ladies? Because here's the thing, this brother, I'm sure he got his paper right.
Yeah.
Y'all seen the crown molding all over the house? That brother good. He going trips. He's financially savvy. He was even trying to break down to us how he even hacks these trips to get him, half price and all these very creative things he does.
He's learning to improve what he's looking for in relationships, personal fulfillment. He's clearly got a good relationship with the people that he works with.
Would you guys consider him marriage material? Based on what we talking here, we dating in our 30s now. Is a brother like that marriage material? What's your thoughts?
He is. He's marriage material.
I would say so.
Yeah, he is.
Based on what?
I think it depends on what you desire as a woman. But for me, I think that
and my thing is you can feel it, you can tell. Like I said, it's also based on the woman. I feel like he's very loyal. I feel like he's a provider. I didn't hear anything about guys, so I don't know about that. But I think it's based upon the woman. But as far as marriage material, he's marriage material.
Y'all watch the same video as me?
Yeah.
Let us know what's the.
Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think.
Oh
Charles.
no, there is so
Yo,
many.
Let's drop a poll on that one.
No.
I want to drop a poll on the chat in that one here.
Let me
Okay.
tell you, this is going back because y'all tried to drag me about finances and exterior factors. He has everything in exterior. There is so much internal work that he needs. He needs to know he does not have to accept that. He needs to know that he is worthy. He don't have to fish in women with trips and gifts. There is a woman that would love him without those things.
But that doesn't make him not marriage material.
But it does though, because part of marriage material for a man to me is about internal things, because he is trying to get this woman because there is obviously some sort of lack internal. So as my man, the internal part has to be very secure, because all you're going to do is just like give me stuff. Like you're gonna do anything I tell you to like keep me.
Listen, you 1000% correct.
I don't like
because
that.
as a man, you have to have a levels of discernment. You have to know when somebody's manipulating you, taking advantage of you. You have to have this level of stubbornness to be like, yo, I'm not gonna deal with no BS like this. So if if a woman knows that somebody can get into his life and have him emotionally wrapped up like that, then that means another woman can do it.
But
that means anybody can do it.
He's still marriage material. It's just work that he has to do.
Exactly.
There's
still
it's really
some work
simple.
he needs to do.
Because I'm marriage
all need
material,
work.
and I still have work that I have to do.
Come on, Ronnie.
But it goes depending on that woman. If you don't see him marriage material, you just don't.
Yeah.
Move on.
Right.
But he's marriage material.
I feel like you said, there's some work that still needs to be done.
Work
but
that needs to be
we
done.
all got work that needs to be good. Everybody's not going to come as the total package off the rip right now. He definitely needs some therapy and some things he need to work on, but that's not to say that he's not marriage material.
So okay, so now y'all really confusing me because
I'm not confused. I'm with you.
Yeah, because y'all went through your 20s, ain't never dated a man that was marriage material.
But I didn't want to be married.
No,
so
it
was a difference.
I have, but there was still a lot of work. There were certain things though that for me might have been deal breakers, right? I feel like you can be marriage material, but there's certain things that still need to be corrected. If you're not willing to do the work, that's what takes the table or the offer off the table. But again, that's not to say that they're not marriage material. There's just work that needs to be done if you're willing to commit to it. Same with me. Like I feel like I haven't always been the total package, but I had to do the work internally, emotionally, spiritually to be that woman. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't marriage material. I just had work to do.
So going back to what you said to him, and I'm going to ask you guys this question because he probably is, I guess, marriage material to a certain extent. But my thing about it is, and this is no shade to him, because I actually, when he was talking in my mind, I'm just like wanting to pray for him because it felt awful for you to walk through life and feel like you have to do that, like be subject to that. Like that sucks. You know what I mean? Like you said, you have women, that want to talk to you and you just like chasing after this woman. It's like, you don't even have to, but something here is telling you have to. So my question is, if he is marriage material to you guys, what, like, okay, I guess what I'm trying. Okay, going back to what you said, I'm sorry because I got lost. You said she's doing all this because she doesn't respect you.
Mhm.
This is the type of man you will marry and respect
No, so
In his current state.
in his current state.
no, it's not.
Okay.
But however, let's just go back to the end of the day. He is marriage material. Like I'm a millionaire, but I still got to do the work to get there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's something that I have to put the work in for. You can tell that he's dealing with rejection. You can tell he's dealing with
Yes.
trauma. This is childhood stuff that you see.
Mhm.
The work is therapy. The work is, if you are somebody that believe in God, deliverance.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So this work that he has to do. There are some women out there who accept him just like that.
Yes.
Just like that.
Now
And-
that's
Not that girl, though. Not that
No, not her.
See, the problem
her.
No,
is
she's a user.
The problem is it's like, and I can't even say she's a user because the reality is, if all of y'all was dating him, y'all probably do the same shit.
I wouldn't be dating.
No,
I
no,
wouldn't.
no,
I
no,
wouldn't.
no, no,
I
no,
wouldn't.
no, here- no, here- here's what I'm
There-
saying.
there
Let me
are
finish that.
mature women
Because if
who
he's not
won't-
what I
who won't
wanted,
waste
I
their
wouldn't.
time.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But here's the reality of it. When it comes down to it, you made a statement. I was like, I think you either said you or whatever woman it was, because of where he is, won't respect him. And the reality of it is, respect is the most important thing we need.
Yep.
Mm.
So because of where he's lacking, I would, because it's a bunch of things that we all might have to work on. Working on healing is a spectrum.
Mm.
But if you have to work as a man on aspects that generally 90% of women will generally not respect you
Mhm.
because of this one piece here that you really need to work on, that's going to be a major problem. Because even if it's a woman that will accept you now, it's just a countdown until her really seeing how deep this goes, this niceness goes, this passivity goes, what they would consider this weakness goes, and that respect is literally trickling down like a upside down timer. Like, so the reality of it is, I would not recommend, especially somebody, you my boy, I'm not recommending you really get in nothing really long term
At all.
until you really resolve that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm really interested to see what the chat says, because we did drop the poll on that one.
Well, the
Where
chat
we
is
at on the
split,
poll?
man. The chat is split down the middle. I dropped the poll. Is Brian marriage material? And we're just talking about his current state, ladies and gentlemen. And it's literally 50-50. 300 votes, 50-50.
50-50.
50-50.
He needs some work.
That's
evident.
interesting.
I would say
That's
just the internal work,
evidence.
because he's got the finances,
Yeah.
he's got the social skills, you know, he's
Yeah.
working to improve himself. But I think that self-respect and self-worth piece, which is a
Yeah.
huge piece.
Yeah.
Huge.
But Brian wraps that up. He get a little bit of therapy, he get a little
Yeah.
reading going on, get some
Right.
confidence going on. That's he all good. He ready to go.
Let me say this.
Oh no, don't worry. I'm sorry. We're gonna bring some other people up. I see y'all backstage. We're gonna bring y'all up in just a few. Go ahead, Brittany.
I was gonna say, obviously, my issue is not his issue, but I feel like, in relationships, especially, we all have things that we still need to work on. Maybe some insecurities that are unresolved, traumas that are unresolved. That doesn't make me any less of a wife. I'm very aware of the things that I still need to work on, and I'm actively
Self-awareness.
working on those things. That does not take away from me being the caliber of woman I need to be somebody's wife. And that was my point. He has work to
Let's
do.
get
And
the
I,
super chats
I
real quick.
agree.
Right.
I agree with your point, but I feel like his case is a very special case because
Mm.
the work that he needs to work on, he could be marriage material, but that type of like where he's at in life, he not even gonna allow he ain't gonna even be marriage material because he's gonna project so much stuff and lose so many women along the way because there's no self-worth there's no dignity, there's no respect, there's no self-esteem. So even if he wanted to marry somebody, his quest would be a little bit challenging because, like you said, there is a woman out there for him. But what if he does meet this fantastic woman and essentially push her away because he doesn't feel like worthy enough? I'm not saying that'll happen, but that's why internal work is so important, because even if you meet the right person and you don't feel good about yourself, you're gonna feel like
You're gonna self-sabotage.
you're gonna self-sabotage
Yeah.
and feel like you're not even adequate. But to be using external things to go after this woman and she is not having sex with you, and you said, like, you made a great point, intimacy is communication. He's not receiving intimacy, he's not receiving physical intimacy, and like he just got a hot meal
Just got a hot
after
meal.
whatever. Like you said, when women like you, it's so evident, like
Right.
it's so apparent, it's like insane, you know what I mean? But
So whose fault is that? Is it Brian's fault for being, a gentleman and being open to, taking care of a woman like this? Or is the woman's fault for, maybe taking advantage of the
It's
situation?
both. They have to
That's a
take
good
accountability. It's both people.
Mm.
Like it's both. And that's today. People do not take accountability for nothing.
Mhm.
She knows she's wrong and he know that he needs to leave. There's no accountability.
And see, here's the reality of it is, y'all being single and dating, I'm telling y'all, it is a war zone right here.
Trenches.
So
Big
the
time.
reality of it
baby.
is, if y'all notice, the same way we describing Brian, this is typically what the young ladies out here dealing with. Bunch of self-worth issues, bunch of standard issues. And guess what? Those same ladies are the ones that's going to be typically complaining about what's happening and how the people are treating them out there. Because when you ain't right, your experiences typically ain't going to be right. And that's just really what it is. That's why we got to get right.
I
So-
agree with that. Let me read a few super chats.
Let's get the super chats popping. And
Shout
guys,
out
send your
to
super chats
Mr.
in. We're going to
Carr.
read them.
Shout out to Mr. Carr. He says, 2 of you ladies sound extremely shallow.
Two.
And because of that, you will miss the man you desire. Mr. Carr, let us know. Let us know why you
Which
say
two,
that.
Mr. Cole? Why you say
Yeah,
that?
shout out to Simply and
Sound
Zinga, of course. Simply and Zinga,
shallow.
just, I mean, you talking about, was it tithes and offerings? I mean,
Oh
she
my
just
God.
really
Another
turns up
one.
every day.
We love you, Nzinga.
Shout out to Key. Key Yamaya says, oh, wow, that fro is going nuts right now.
Beautiful.
I don't think he's ready to lead. He's not there yet. Shout out to JM. No, he's not. Your type changes when you're healed. And shout out to Anthony Logan. Anthony might want to call up here. I think this is a good comment. Older women, not all. Actually, I didn't read. Let me read it first before I say that. Older women, not all, tend to want perfectly packaged men, but those men have so many options and don't want them.
Wow.
So they're left with what they're left with. Interesting. Ladies, I'm gonna open that up just for a second before Tyshawn brings on the right person. Do you think that as you get older, the man that you want even has to be better than he initially, like, is as you get older, is this man, this avatar, does he have to come even more equipped than in the past?
I'm so tired of the statement he said. I'm so tired of
tired of
people. I'm so tired of what he said.
Is there not some truth to it?
But I'm so tired of y'all saying the man is y'all want perfect. He got so many options. Like, give it up. I'm tired of it. Like, I'm not saying that there's this unicorn in the world. You say take a broke man, but because the money man with the money gonna have all these women. Like, what are we even talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I feel like the narrative is just like, what are the options we left
That's what I
with?
was getting-
Take,
like, I was gonna
take
say,
a
what are the
broke man
options?
or take a man,
Yeah.
but y'all want to say, but the man with the money, he gonna be cheating with y'all to pay because a million women want him. So what do y'all want us to do? Like to me, I don't like, as a people, that struggle love is our narrative. We don't have to accept that.
Why do we
And
have to struggle first?
we
to get the
struggle
good love?
first. And my thing is, if it takes longer, so what? You got to accept that. You know what I'm saying? You accept that you're on a different quest. That does not mean we are walking in this world mad as single women, though. You could be happy and at peace and doing things that fulfill your heart. You can receive love in this world from your family, from people, from yourself. Like, we only look at, things as one dimensional. You single and you're upset, and you're single and you have to struggle. I just will never believe that's my story. And I'm okay with that taking a little bit longer, because there are things that I'm not willing to accept. Like, is he going to become perfectly packaged? Absolutely not, because I'm not. But you're not going to tell me that I have to be consumed or concerned with other options because this man is close to perfection. I'm not accepting that either. So it just is what it is. Like when they told Ebony K, would you date a bus driver? Why are y'all asking her this? Only us do shit like that. Would you date a bus driver? Why? Why are y'all asking every woman this? But if you got all these degrees, would you date a bus driver? Even Tyler Perry was online talking about, would it be okay if a man said I only could pay the light bill? Why on earth, if me with this life I live, date a man that could pay a light bill? Because that means he can't even eat food on his own. Really, if you only could pay, like, what are we talking about
right?
here? Like, I'm sorry, it just makes me upset, because as a people, we have to believe that what was given to us, we just have to accept our circumstances.
Settle.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, and it's all subjective to what we want. But my thing is, I know that there is a man out there for me. He will not be perfect. Will he be a millionaire? Maybe. Will he not? No. And that's okay. But you're not going to tell me that what you're asking for, you're going to have to deal with other women wanting that too. I'm not going to believe that. That's like me saying that I believe all men cheat, because I don't. So it's kind of like, why are these my options here?
It's tricky. It's tricky because I do. It is conversations that I think they are had in the very aggressive ways, especially when it comes to Black women. But I do still think it's some realities of dating. And I
Okay.
think as we get older, including men, your options do change. So what you had to select from may be a little different. So yes, what you're saying is true, but there's still a problem. Because, and this is why I say this, I'm 35 years old.
Mhm.
The amount of women that when I was casually dating, when I dated women my age, these women, I mean, I can see now what kind of situation they was in. they were stating a lot of the things you saying. Why can't I? Do I have to settle for this? Why do I have to settle for that?
Mhm.
But these are the same women that I would date them, casually have sex with them, have to break up with them every week.
Tell me why.
They want that's the thing, because that's the thing. They had that attitude. They had that attitude is I can still get this Prince Charming man with all of these great things, no kids, my age, making more money than me, all these things. When the reality is, a lot of them were struggling to find that. So my question is, is there not some truth that once you get a little bit older, your dating options do change, and you may have to consider men that in the past that you wouldn't have dated? Let's say a man who's divorced, a man with multiple kids, a man who's is maybe 10 years older. Like, does that not change for a woman? Because for me,
Yeah.
I'm a 35-year-old man. If I say I want to date a 25-year-old woman, I'm gonna have to have some resources.
Yes.
Why
Right.
why are you dating that young?
First off, we're not gonna talk about what I'm doing because I'm not dating at all. I got this is my abstinence, man. I'm abstinent.
Okay,
right now,
because
so I'm
I
not
was about
dating.
to say, because I noticed
But
that
when I
as I
start-
get older, I see a lot of men that are 35 dating
I mean,
younger, and I feel like I feel like there's some tea behind that. But
Well, so this
okay,
thing. When I do start back dating, the woman is gonna be probably 7 to 10 years younger. Just being honest with you, I want to have 4 babies. Come on, am I gonna date a woman if I'm 40 years old? Am I gonna date a 40-year-old woman? It's probably not happening.
okay.
Ryan,
that's the reality.
I'm going to say yes to what you just asked. Yes, your dating options change. For one, for me, my entire life, I always said I never wanted to date a man with kids. I always want to be, the first to experience that with you. Being 35 as well, as you get older, it's more challenging to find men in their 30s or going into their 40s that don't have kids or have never been married. Here's what I'll say about that. I said I would never do it. I'm in a relationship now with somebody who's been previously married and also has 2 kids. And even though I had to, I guess, change my preferences, this has also been the most healthy and emotional, fulfilling relationship I've ever been in.
I love
Wow,
Hold on,
that's
wait,
excellent.
hold on,
That's
wait. You
excellent.
said you had to. You said you had to change your preferences in what way?
Well, not so much my preferences, but I'll say as you get older, it's harder to find men in their 30s or 40s that haven't been married or don't have kids.
He's a divorcee, which means he comes with a bit of, no disrespect, a little bit of baggage, a little
right? We
relationship
talk
baggage,
about
right?
that. Mhm.
He has kids, which means that you go straight from dating to mommy, right? In a sense,
Ooh. I mean,
that's
when
the
you put
reality
it that
situation,
way, yeah,
right?
It
And
is.
he said
It
he's
is.
he's a little bit older,
He is older.
so I'm sure you taking into consideration that assuming you marry, when he gets a little older, he might be a little less active than you, right? So these are all things
it's accurate.
that you
Yeah.
right. These are all things that you consider, which I think makes sense
Right.
because your or you do have to tailor kind of things where you at. But
Yeah.
I think it's healthy for you to state that to women because
Mhm.
I think women are hearing from other women that you don't have to think about those things.
Mhm.
That you can
Mhm.
still get exactly what you always dreamt of, and you 35, 40 years old. And I just don't
But why
think
not
that's-
though? I'm sorry. I'm gonna be Delulu. They can probably drag me in the chat, but just like how I look at my career and my success and the things that I feel like I want God to do for me, I see the same way in dating though. I'm not gonna ever think that what I want, I'm looking for is impossible. Just like I think that what I do in my life, in my career, in my dream that I'm going after, I don't think that's impossible either. I just have a lot of faith in both of these areas. And if it's not gonna be exactly what I want, it's gonna be pretty close. I just don't believe that I have to believe that about myself to say, this Prince Charming or whatever I want is just not out there because there's so many people in the world. But I do accept and I do realize it's going to take longer. I know
Mhm.
it's not going to happen tomorrow. I do know that. But if my standards, I don't want a man with a kid, I just don't want a man with a kid.
But
So hold
why
on, wait. So hold
why
on, wait.
on to that?
Listen.
Because why be open to it?
I want no. Listen, no. We gonna keep the conversation about options
good.
flowing because this is not gonna stop here. But I want to go ahead and bring some people up that have been sitting patiently back here. We actually got who am I gonna bring up back here? Oh man, look, we got Brittany that's sitting back here patiently waiting back here. Let's bring Brittany up to the top. Brittany, what's popping with your sister?
How you guys doing?
What's up, Brittany?
We are blessed, Brittany. How you living?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain.
Shout out to you.
Alright.
Look like you read back there. That's good.
I got, man,
like my
shout out
ladies.
to
I like
the
ladies that read.
bookshelf. Hey, Brittany, so do me this favor. You know the role.
Yeah, I got you.
We gotta go your age, your location, and then give us your question.
Okay, I'm a little under 30, but I'm 20. I turned 29 in March, and I'm located outside of Philadelphia.
Philly,
Nice.
stand
Shout
up.
out to Philly. Okay, so you getting close to that big 30.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that what you call anybody? Got a question for us?
Yeah. So I feel like, okay, let me go with a question. My question is about if we're talking about dating and our core values. And I feel like we're not dating for that. Like a lot of the conversation around financials and all those things, I feel like we're missing out on actually getting to know people and seeing what they are and what they have to offer. And it's kind of like messing it up. So my question is, what's the difference between dating only for the core values and leading with preferences, and where does that balance lie? Does that question make sense?
Listen, it makes a lot of sense because none of this has anything to do with core values. If a man got a kid, if a man is divorced, they got nothing to do with core values. So, ladies, I mean, what's up? Where is the line between what you preference and what is most aligned with your core values?
I think core values is first for sure, and then preferences are always gonna be second.
That's not true.
It's not. I just talked about
If you look at a brother, and he's not attractive, you're not gonna deal with him.
Okay, I guess
you don't even get to know his core values.
Okay,
That's a great
when you
point.
said preferences, I was thinking like the things they were talking about, like like
I mean,
external
attractiveness
factors, but-
is a preference.
yeah, that's the first thing you notice for sure. If you put it that way, then yeah.
If I
obviously-
package your perfect man into a brother that's right in front of you that might be 5'2",
Mm,
and look, you 4'11",
yes,
and look at that. That's your perfect man right there. That might be a
that
preference.
is not a perfect man for me.
No, core values.
Mm-mm.
See there? But
You know
again,
what?
that's the line again.
The
It goes
chat
back
is
to
eating
line.
me up, and I don't care because at the end of the day,
Don't worry about the chat.
You know,
No,
at
talk
the end
the
of the day,
truth.
I don't wear my singleness as a thing that I'm upset about. So if people tell me I'm gonna be single forever, I'm like, great. I've been the happiest I've been in my life by myself anyway. So
No,
it
no,
doesn't matter.
don't worry about the chat.
I'm just saying we need
about
to
the
answer
chat.
her question. I'm sorry. So maybe somebody else can answer it better than me. What's the question?
So what she's asking here pretty much is the balance, the fine line, the dance. How do we consider the preferences that we want in our person as well as the core values? In essence, what does hold more weight?
For me, core values holds more weight. I like what you said though. Preferences, obviously, you have to be attracted to the person. That's what's going to grab your attention to begin with. But for me, if it comes down to it, it'll always be core values.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. I agree. Core values of a preference.
That's a very safe answer, guys. They
It's
went
not
the,
safe.
they
It's
went
not
with the safe answer today, guys.
But it seems like, Brittany, it seems like you had a comment to state as well. Did you have a comment as well or no?
I mean, I was just going to say that I feel like for me personally, finances isn't a core value for me, because I feel like the first and foremost thing for me, if a man has a relationship with the Lord, we could kind of just breathe through and get through anything, because we have a relationship with the Lord really shapes how you view things, how you treat people, and it just builds character. So I feel like that's the number one thing, is what someone believes in, how they lead their life, and finances is like,
So Brittany, we kind of lost you a little bit, but I think we got the essence of your message. So I appreciate you coming up here and sharing with us, Brittany. Okay.
Sure. You guys have a wonderful night.
You too.
Hey, you too, Brittany. We appreciate you. We got to get the fellas on next too, because I think this is very important, because it clearly is, some dissension amongst the ranks, so to speak.
The men, I need the men to come up here and talk to us tonight.
Connecting.
I want the men to come up here and chop it up and let us know tonight. Be nice, fellas. Y'all for the men.
Real quick. Yeah.
Right.
Brittany, how old is the gentleman that you're dating now?
He'll be 41 in March.
41, and you are?
I'm 35. Just turned 35.
Okay.
Is he a Pisces?
That makes
He's
sense.
a Pisces. He is a Pisces.
Okay, shout out to
And before you
Pisces.
start dating this
Why
gentleman,
do you say that makes sense?
well, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Why does that make sense?
The reason I said that makes sense is because my thought is, let me think about that.
Please think about that response.
No. I do have a response to that, but I just want to make sure that I communicate my thoughts thoroughly, okay, without offending, but because that's not what I intend to do. But were you apprehensive about dating a gentleman that was 6 years older than you, or was that something that was not a big deal at the time?
No, for me personally, I was actually excited. I typically date older anyway.
Okay.
I've tried dating men my age, even tried dating younger. It just doesn't work. I feel like I'm an old soul at heart. So for me, it works to date older.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
And what about you ladies? Are y'all open to dating an older man? Do you have a age preference?
I definitely want an older man.
Yes,
Okay.
girl, that's where it's at.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just feel like they're more established, they're more experienced. I feel like they've lived their life. You know what I mean? I feel like back then it'd have been different if I was in my 20s. Like, no, I want to date somebody in my age, but now I want somebody that's old. I want somebody to know what they want.
So now,
Okay.
what about when we talking about men with kids? How do we feel about the men that have children now?
I don't.
Ryan, hold on, wait. You don't want to date a man? You don't want to date a man with kids?
No,
Wait, you got 2 kids.
that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Interesting.
No.
Wow.
Hold on.
Wait,
Ronnie.
Wait, what?
You got 2 kids and you don't want to date a man with kids? That's
You know, we
crazy.
need- I
Would you
need some
want to have
explanation.
kids with the man that you end up marrying?
So I'm type 1 diabetic. So if I can get my health where I need to be, then yes, I'll be open to having,
Okay.
another baby. Absolutely. But no,
Okay, so
But what's the reason for that, by the way? Just curious.
the last situation.
You
Like
had
it's
kids.
the baby mamas, the drama, like, and I feel like men don't know how to sever ties with people. I feel like they don't know how to not, like it's just no respect. You know what
Gotcha.
I mean? And I'm not dealing with that. I don't want to be in jail. So
But see, that's the thing. Well, because for example, your baby father was able to sever ties with you, right?
yeah. Wait, which one?
I mean, so one of them didn't.
So one of them doesn't. I'm assuming doesn't want to separate, and the other one.
I don't think neither one of them do.
Oh, okay. All right, Ronnie, you're going crazy.
So this is interesting. Okay,
Right.
well, what about you? Y'all feel the same way about
Well,
men with kids?
Shells, what you say? No kids, huh?
No.
Why though?
I spent all my 20s dating men with kids.
Mm.
And I told myself after those situations, I was like, in my 30s, I just don't want to do it. I think that aside from the things right there that's like baby mama drama and stuff like that, I just I feel like we live 2 different lives. So it's just kind of like I know that you guys are going to say lifestyle is important to me, but it really is, because I spent my life as a single woman building a certain life, and we are not on even playing field. I don't have kids. There are certain things that you're going to have to do because you have kids that I don't. There are certain, things that you have to deal with mentally, emotionally, physically, financially that I don't. So I just choose not to date men with kids.
So that makes sense to me up until a certain point.
What?
The point where the options start to become less.
But see, the thing that we're saying about the less options, I've already understood that and accepted that. I'm not fighting that.
Okay, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, none of these things like time, age, like how long it's gonna take me, the amount that like out of 10 men, at least 9 of them have kids. Like I've studied these statistics and I've accepted them. I'm not upset about them. I'm not like, why is it taking so long? I understand that my process and my path is going to be a little different and take a little longer. Now, again, it would have to be like a really amazing person for me to be open. Like she said, her situation, she's met a very amazing man. He has kids and she became open to that. So I'm not saying that I would push an amazing man away if he had a child, but it's not something that I definitely, if I had a choice, would I want to do that? Like, no, but I'm lying, because actually he probably would get pushed away, because as soon as you say you had kids, I probably would clip it. So I wouldn't even get to know you. You like, oh, I got 2
Right.
kids. I would be like, okay, nice meeting you.
So I mean, I guess as long as you have accepted that that's the situation, it's cool. I think it's many women who may communicate the same things, but they really haven't accepted that they do indeed have less options.
And I want to say this about accepting is that I am a very peaceful person in my singleness, and I'm very happy in the accepting it, but I have a lot of faith that it's not impossible for me. I'm not woe is me, nor am I like, it's only a couple of men out there. I'm not like that. I'm like, I'm floating through life, doing what God called me to do. If I meet somebody and he doesn't have a kid, amazing, because that's what I want. If there's a kid there, I'm a probably look into it, maybe, and see what's going on. But again, like you said, you were at the bar and you saw women that were in their 40s and 50s and stuff, and they had these crazy, or not crazy, but they had these wild things. Like, I'm kind of not like that either, though. Like, I don't know if I was telling her, it was somebody else. I'm like, by 40, I'm like, I want a partner. I desire marriage. I desire partnership. My prayer is that it happens by that time. But do I know that my options are much smaller? Yeah, but am I going to take that, knowing that, and say, well, I'm just going to accept things that, I don't want to accept? Probably not. But even with those circumstances, I never believed in my heart of heart, I'm going to be by myself forever. But that's what people will try to project on you. Girl, if you feel like that, you're going to be by yourself. Why would you put that on? Why would you speak that? No, I'm not. when we were born into this world, God had made somebody for each of us. Now, how we get to that person or if we push them away is on us. But I don't believe that there's nobody for nobody in this world. But can you mess it up? Probably. You know what I mean? Will it take longer? Probably. But I have faith in everything that I'm having. And again, if it's my person, if God said your person got 3 kids and this and this and that, and I truly believe God said it's my person, would I reject it? No.
Man, I hear what you're saying, man.
Okay.
Why does I hear what you're saying?
Right, you gotta know me to know I'm like, this is how I really live for real. Like,
no, I believe you. And the thing is, I'm just thinking about my experience when I pull up for Thanksgiving and there's 10 single women in there.
Yeah.
All the aunties, all the mom is single.
Yeah.
And they talking about a dude. This actually happened. It was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
One of my cousins, she's 36 years old. No, she's like 39. She's a little bit older than me. And she's telling how this guy that she used to work with buying her flowers, want to take her on this trip and all this stuff. And her mom, which is my auntie, my great aunt, and my grandma sitting there, and they laughing and my grandma says, well, why don't you go ahead and go on a trip with that man? They laughing about it. She like, oh no, I ain't going on no trip with him. And then my auntie, she just looks at her. She was like, she don't understand. And everybody knew what it was. You gonna be just like them if that is your attitude when it comes to dating men that you don't preference.
Right.
And at the end of the day, and I'm not saying this for women because I'm just attacking women, because it's the same for me. The older I get, like I have to have money to have more options. Oh, that's not. And if it don't swing the way I want to swing, then I'm gonna be dating a woman with kids,
or dying alone,
or dying alone. And it's and the thing, but that's true. Please. Because you gotta ask yourself. And I was actually telling this young man here, Delano, that, and I said one of the things that I really appreciate that Tyshawn is doing. I was telling him about his older brother, and I said Tyshawn is looking to spiritually separate himself from his family. Because I said right now, when I fill out my emergency contact form, it's got my mom, Carol. Oh shit.
Hey, don't call her out. Don't call out.
It's got my mama name on there. It's got my mama name on there. But I don't feel good about that. And it's a lot of women and men in the same exact position that they don't feel good about it. But a lot of them are holding on to delusion. It's like if you want to, because everybody wants to first financially separate themselves. Okay, we've accomplished that. But when you really get down to it and what's going to put you right for the rest of your years, it is finding connection, long-lasting connection and marriage for safety, for security. So if you're still holding on to this idea that I'm going to find exactly what I want, even though I'm aging, even though I'm getting deeper into my career, even though I'm getting set in my ways, because all of us, as we get older, we get set in our ways. I just think that's a wrong way to go about it. And I think it's the wrong way to counsel women that are in the exact same position.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I will say that, again, I'm not married to my opinion. I'm not married to my thoughts, because the woman I am at 35, I didn't think that way at 25. So as life continues to happen, will I be, open to more things as I get older, as I approach 36 and 37? And I'm like, hold up, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be 36 in March, and there are some things shifting in my mind, where I'm like, okay, and then you're gonna get to 37, but I am like kind of self-aware enough to say, like, okay, if my end goal was like 40 and I don't be by myself, maybe what are my non-negotiables? Like, what can I shift, and what does that look like for me? But I just don't want myself or women to walk in to this type of pressure idea that we have to settle. And it is kind of murky, because it's like what you're saying is true, but then it's like, don't settle. But it's just like,
now settling is a spectrum.
But
now you're using the word settling,
because that's what it would, if they're not meeting something, I feel like, what's the word proper term?
Like if they're not meeting 5'4", 5'6", 5'8", 5'10", whatever that. So that's not necessarily settling.
What is it? Because settling does have a negative connotation. So I would
it's
like
compromising.
Okay, that's a better word. I will start using compromise. Settling does sound awful. Okay, I agree with you. I will change the narrative. Compromising on these things, but how much do we have to compromise because of what you're saying, where it's like, well, I don't want to be 40, 50 and be like,
it depends on how far off we are.
Yeah,
it depends.
Like if I think I'm gonna walk around and marry Rihanna, I'm gonna have a lot of compromising to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of compromising to do.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on where we at on the spectrum.
I agree. And Brittany, you got kids?
No, not yet.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. That's why that makes sense. You got
Okay.
a 41-year-old man. He's got a couple kids.
Mhm.
You got this young, beautiful woman, 6 years younger, still got her beauty.
Mhm.
Hey, look, I got 2 kids already. I got 2 kids. So if she want to have a kid, maybe not 2.
He's open to another one.
That makes sense. Cool.
Okay.
That's all he need. Beautiful,
Yeah.
younger, ready to have a kid.
Mhm.
She got the attitude. She ready to go down this path for me. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What if
Okay.
you don't want to have kids?
Well, that might be a little.
Then that would be
might
a restriction for me.
Hold on, we got
Yeah.
some fellas back here. I want to bring some of the fellas up to see what my fellas back here talking about. We just had the brother here. Looks like I'm Sweet Rich AD. He coming on here to the stage. What's up with you, brother?
What's going on, man?
Oh,
I
this is
think I
the brother. I think you called it. Where you from? Alabama?
Nah, I'm from Texas.
Texas.
Dallas.
Oh, he got the hat on his head right there. What's up with you, brother? Good to see you, man.
What's going on, man?
Excellent. Hey, look, just so for the people that don't know, can you please give me your age, your location, and give me your question here, brother?
I'm 33. I'm in Texas, Dallas, Texas.
Okay. What you got a question or comment?
Well, I wanted to speak on some of the things that I was hearing. I wasn't liking this partnership that I'm hearing that we keep saying. I know the ladies had a lot of complaints about some of the things they were hearing and what they weren't willing to acceptable to. But I believe a lot of black men are not acceptable to this partnership idea.
Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say partnership idea? Just to get clarity.
That's not how God aligned us
He didn't align us to do what?
to be partners.
Okay. What and give me what did he align us to be? Just to be clear.
He aligned a woman to be a support and a man to be leading, to be the
Okay.
head.
Okay.
And I
So-
say that very lightly. I understand it's a little sensitive for a lot of people, but if you in tune with your spirit, with the spirit, and you put your work in, and you in that Bible, you should know that it don't say anything about that in the Bible. He did not align us that way.
Okay. Well, look, AD, thank you so much for coming up on here and giving us your feedback, brother. I appreciate that. All right.
I mean, more I want to talk about it if you.
We got a couple brothers in here. I want to get my brothers' thoughts and opinions on here. So I appreciate you, brother.
And I want to bring some of these OGs on here. I see some OGs in the chat, some ladies. I want to bring them up too.
Hold on, wait.
Let me read some of these super chats.
Okay, go ahead to do that.
Yo, shout out to Yali. My girl Yali says, as you get older, you have a much clearer vision of what you're looking for in a spouse. You can spot red flags much easier because you've learned from your experiences and others people's experiences. Absolutely agree with that. Shout out to the Soft Life as well. Shout out to my man Akene. Says the dating thing keeps our women single. Women should start getting married from their early 20s. If you don't have kids, marry a woman with kids.
Wow.
No, if you don't have kids, marry
If you
a
don't
woman.
have kids, marry a woman, kids.
I've actually heard that from some men. Okay. Shout
Kenny,
out.
you got to get clear, man. That man here writing in Nigerian.
Yeah. Well, I think he's onto something with the married in the 20s, though. I just think that we just are not built for relationships.
I want to go
really
ahead.
think
No,
that.
absolutely. And guys,
Yeah.
continue to send your
Both men
super
and
chats
women.
over.
What you look at that?
We're going to go ahead and read them. Send your super chats. I actually want to go ahead and we got my brother Xavier back here. Xavier, let's go ahead. What's up with you, brother? How you living, man? You are on mute,
You're on mute,
Xavier.
Xavier.
I cannot hear you, brother. Oh, come on, Xavier.
Let's bring
man.
Mia on. Let's bring one of the OGs on.
Xavier,
real
you
quick.
got to get right. Mia, what's up, sweetheart?
What's up, Mia?
Hello.
What
Can
up
you
with
hear
you?
We sure can. How are
Can
you,
you-
Mia?
Okay. I am Mia. I am 63 and I'm in Maryland. And
Okay.
can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, so here's what I want. I'm going to ask y'all to stop beating up on that young lady with the green shirt. I don't know your name. I'm so sorry. But she is me. She was me when I was in my 30s, on the grind, doing what she had to do, getting her life, and not really paying attention to what anybody said, which is okay. Because I was on the grind in my 30s. I wasn't, thinking about marriage and men and things. Not saying that I don't love them, not saying that I don't want one, but I had other things going on. And so now at 63, I have accomplished so much in my life, and I'm so thankful for my life. I don't have a man in my life, but guess what? It's okay. It's okay. Right now, my goal is to make sure my teenage grandchildren are okay, because I want to make sure that I leave this earth knowing that they're okay. And that's my priority right now. Do I want a man in my life? I would love to have a man, but guess what we got today? At my age, men, the choices are different. Because at my age, the man, I can't grind with a man at my age. I already did the grinding part. So when I'm in my 60s, the man in his 60s needs to be settled and doing what he has to do. If he's got kids, that's fine. He's probably got grandkids like me. So,
Hold on, wait, Mia.
Go ahead.
Let me just get some context here, because when did you have your first child?
I was 19 when I had my son.
Okay, so you was 19 when you had your first child.
My first and only. I got one son.
Wow.
And the reason why I didn't get married was because the men that I was dealing with said that, hey, they're okay with me being a single mother, but if they have children with me, they're going to treat their child better than they're going to treat my child because my child is not there. Those were idiots, and we all know that. That's the reason why I stay single.
But here's the thing, Mia. Let me ask you, if we can go back in hindsight, knowing what you know now, would you have been more intentional about your dating life in your 20s or 30s at that point in time to maybe curve where you are now, or the options that you have now? Would that have been something that would have been important to you if you can go back?
If I do go back, the one thing that I was thinking of was what kind of example was I setting for my son to be having all of these different kind of men in my life. So my son, I dated, but my son didn't even know I was dating. That was the thing, because I didn't want him to see me, doing what I was doing, because some things your children don't need to see, right? So for me, if I, looking back, I probably would have gotten married maybe in my 30s, but by the time I reached 35, I got my tubes tied. I was done with having children, and it was all about, just coasting through the rest of my life. I was really on the grind, trying to make a life for my son. And now I've done that, and now I'm making the house for my grandchildren. So I'm good. And I want people to understand that if that's how you feel in your 30s, then that's how you feel. And again, it has everything to do with God. If God is not in your life, then you can't do anything, because you're thinking thoughts that you shouldn't be thinking. And that's why there's so much confusion. God will lead you.
Hold on. Me, I want to ask you this. Do you think that your children and your grandchildren, that they would that is what they want for you? They want you to grind for them.
Well, my son is 43. So
when you were doing it, and now you're
right. When I was doing it, they wouldn't know to say that whether or not they wanted that for them or not. They wouldn't know that at that time, right?
Now, that's what I'm saying. Now, right? They would know now.
Oh, well, now my son always talks to me. He was like, "Ma, I just want you to be happy." And I say the same thing for him. As he goes out and he dates and tries to find, my son has been married, and that's how I got my 2 grandchildren. But as he goes out, I always I just want him to have a good life, and I want my grandchildren to have a good life. And I want that for them, because I don't want them to feel like whatever path they decide to take, as long as it's God leading their path, don't let anybody stop you from doing that. So if it is marriage, go for it. I have a granddaughter. She's 13. She's at that age, and I'm teaching her to love herself and have some self-worth. The brother Brian that was on, I really felt bad for him, because I know that woman, because I've seen that woman and I'm saying not physically, I'm saying that in theory, and I've seen that woman, because that woman doesn't like him. He needs to move on from that, because when a woman says what she says, take it for face value.
Let me ask you this though, Mia, because I think this was very important. I want to just dig in this real quick. You did not date when you had your child because you didn't want your child to see you date.
No, I said I didn't let my child see me date. So I
Okay,
did date. I did date.
you did date, but
Yes.
you said okay. You were dating in your 20s and your 30s, but you said that the thing about it was because marriage wasn't important to you at that time, or that wasn't you was just focused on grinding and pretty much taking care of your of your of your son at this point in time because you were the head of household.
Yep.
Your
Exactly.
relationships were more casual.
Yes, they were. There was no intentional dating, looking for a husband. The thought was always in the back of my mind, and I kept thinking that God, if this is who you want me to be with, then you will make it so. Because I think that a lot of men will come up to women and they'll say, "Well, God told me that you were going to be my wife." Well, if he told you, don't you think he would tell me too? Because when you're saying that to me, I don't believe that because I don't see that in you. So for me, I'm very obedient when God says move, he says go, he says do. And at this point, yeah, I've made lots of mistakes and made lots of bad choices in men and everything. I've done it. But now, in my point of life, I don't feel bad about the decisions I make. They're all learning experiences for me that I can be a testimony for somebody else that's going through this. And if it's your choice to grind, it's your choice to get married, if it's your choice, then let it be God's choice for you. Don't let anybody tell you anything different because you will not be happy. I'm 4'11" as well. I don't want a short man. I like to lay my head on a man's chest. You 4'11", you standing the same size as me. Where am I lay my head at?
Wow.
Well, Mia,
Man,
so I wanna confirm though. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you want to have a man in your life right now?
No, I said, if that is God's choice for me, I will receive it and accept it.
So
But
how can
go ahead.
how can you expect God to help you with this choice if you are not dating intentionally, or if you haven't decided that that's what you want?
It's not my decision to make, Ryan, right? It's not my decision to make. Right now, where I am and where God wants me to be is to stand still and take care of some things that I needed to take care of that I didn't take care of when I was supposed to. So that's my path. That's my life. It's not my desire to be married. But if that's God's desire for me, then I have to stand down and be obedient. He has not put me in that place right now. So I'm not saying that I'm opposed to it or I'm not receptive of it. It just is not, it's not in my psyche to even think about it. Do I love black men? Hell yeah. and like the sister said, I ain't going outside my race. You black men, get it together. I love you. I only love you, and I'm waiting on you.
Mia, look, thank you so much for coming up on here and sharing with us,
Mia's
sister. Okay.
turned up.
Let me tell you
You
something.
know what?
I wanted Mia to have a man so bad when she started that conversation. When I tell you something, thank you for taking up for me, Mia. But she proved y'all point so bad. I want to scream. Like,
kind of scary.
when she started off, I was like, okay, she going somewhere. I wanted her to be like, and now my husband. She was like, and I don't have a man. I was like, this is what they talking about. People being that age and not having no man. And I'm like, I don't want that for myself at all. Like, I don't want to be, and this is no shade to nobody who was older, but like, that's not what I see for myself. But she proved y'all point so bad
But
that like,
here's my point
she navigated this world focusing on like, and I read a quote a long time ago that said that don't spend so much time creating a life that you don't live one. Like, we don't like to be in grind mode. And to your point, when you asked her, but like, how is God gonna do that if you're not dating intentionally? Like, like faith without works is dead. There's always gonna be things that we have to do as people. If I tell God I want a husband, I can't not be intentional
You gotta
about
go out there
that.
and start looking for one.
Absolutely, or putting yourself in position for him to find you. But I don't think that any of us should die old by ourselves and not have partnership. I don't believe that. I I wanted Mia to have a man because
I think Mia.
a point.
I think she's like a lot of women. I mean, it really reminds me of the women, the women
That raised me.
because they put in that
That's
work.
what Mia.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they give you everything, and they at every baseball and football,
Yeah.
basketball game that you
Yeah.
you always got new clothes when school year start, even though you have no idea what is money.
They the mothers and the fathers.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Of
and
the
they take care
community.
of everybody, and then they go from taking care of their children to taking care of their children's children
Yep.
with the same level of
Yep.
intensity.
Yep.
But the reason I asked her about what her kids
And
her
even the
grandchildren-
same messaging.
and even the same
the
message.
messaging, what they tell the kids.
Right.
But go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Well, because I'm thinking what I would have liked, because my mother's now married, but that's all I wanted for my mom is for her to
Yeah.
have a man.
Yeah.
And now when I find out they get into little issues and stuff,
Yeah.
I'm like, look, just don't break up.
Yeah,
That's
right,
what I be thinking,
seriously.
right? Because as kids, that's really what we want to see. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the women who do for the generations.
Yeah.
Because I can't say I would be here without the women like that.
Yeah.
But as an adult, when I look back at it, the only thing that you want for the women in your life is to have family and somebody that's going to take care of them and care for
Yeah.
them. So that's why I asked that. Like, if she was to go back and ask her grandchildren as they become adults and her son as he become an adult, what would you like to see for me?
Yeah.
And I would think I would have loved to see my mom grow up taking care of a man, supporting the man, that man having a big influence in my life and so forth. And even now, I think it is really dope that my mom got a man.
Yeah.
Now it's things that this 50-something, getting ready to be 60-something-year-old man can have an influence and impact on my life. And it are some things that I can see and learn from. So it is tricky because a lot of women, I think, give themselves to the game. so to
I
speak.
wonder why or what the core is about of us as a culture of women or whatever, Black women, like going after those things with so much intensity, and why we don't go after a partner like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's even me. You know what I mean? Like, what is the root? And that's probably something to unpack with the therapist. But like, how could I wake up every day so ambitious about the things that I want to do in life, but I don't have that same ambition when it comes to dating? And I wonder why that is. And I typically have like some sort of answer for everything, but that's something that's very blank for me. Like, why? Like, what is it? And that's something I am in therapy, and that's something I do want to ask my therapist. Like, why am I so overzealous, and why am I so like grind? But like, I don't feel that way about finding a partner. Core could be, hurt, or it could be fear, or any of those things, or just maybe not even wanting to like go through the motions, because dating is work.
Right.
Like it's hard work. Being in a relationship is work. Marriage is a work. But I think that because we are all men and women, we all, like you said, we in the trenches, it's hard. It's like, and now it's like a revolving door, because everyone does have these unrealistic standards. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, and if you're not already meet the criteria, like, I'm gonna just already get rid of you. And then there's dating apps, and then there's social media, and then it's like, so you feel like you could find somebody else and find somebody else. But this is no shade. Like, I don't desire that for myself
see,
at all. I don't want to be 60 and single. I just don't. And I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with that. I know for a fact because I grew up with my mom and my dad together. My dad just passed away last year, and my mom was with him until his last breath. So I've seen it, like I've seen the vows being lived out. I've seen marriage. So for me, that's something that I want for myself. I've gotten sick. I've gotten, had surgeries and stuff, and have to deal with that through myself. Life is lifing. Life is going to happen. And I don't think we should be doing this alone.
But see, that's the way we think. We think, again, just like what I said a bit earlier, it's a very individualistic mindset. It's a survival mindset all by ourselves.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I can still feel for Mia, even though it really hurt me, like listening to that was Mia's testimony, but I just did not like it.
Yeah. Same.
Only because the reality is, I know Mia got to grind to take care of the family
Yes.
all by herself.
All by herself.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mia is literally the provider of her
Yeah.
household.
Yeah.
Mia is the priest of her household.
Yeah.
Mia has to be delusionally optimistic about everything happening at all points in time, because
raising everybody at
Mia's
once.
raising the kids. She got to be composed. She got to
Yeah.
be poised. She's the disciplinary. So I know what that is. But if we have no plan to bring somebody into that, to start making that solo game a team sport, and we're not intentional about that, because that's the key.
Yeah.
Like, we're not literally saying, hey, my goal is this. Like, I knew in this business that I came into that I wanted to go into this business with a partner.
Yeah.
I just met my homeboy the other day, and he was like, man, Ty, I realized that I've been playing business wrong so long. Like this whole year, he said, my goal was for every business, I wanted to go into business with partnership because I can build and attack business so much faster if I have somebody that brings this and I bring this to the table. You play it differently. And it's no different in life.
Yeah.
And we are, unfortunately, our community in particular, we're playing this whole life game on one player with no plans on playing on two players, no plans to play co-op. Matter of fact, we saying, yeah, I'll play if, the right person comes magically, I'll play.
But and that right there is to not be hurt.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if you set your expectation, if you set and you communicate to yourself, hey, I want this, but you haven't been able to quite attain it, and you may not see it possible for you to attain it, it's gonna hurt.
And then a lot of times people are coming in situations with what they can get as opposed to what they can give. And then a lot of times people don't have anything to give, so they come in a situation with what they can get out of it. Like if I go into a partnership with you and I'm a full whole person and I know what type of woman I am and what I can provide, I'm going to look at it from a different lens of like, what can I give to him? Like, what can I already add to his life, right? And the thing is that it's lopsided. Like it's one person like wanting to add and one person wanting to take, because sometimes people just don't have the capacity to give either. So that's another challenging part, I feel like, of dating, where it's like, I know I'm a good girlfriend, I know I'm a good woman, and this is what I have to add. But then you have somebody that doesn't have the capacity to act, like, so it's like pouring into a big glass. I think TD Jakes used an analogy, but he was talking about parenting. He was like, you are a gallon. And it was Oprah. She was talking about her mother and how her mother couldn't love for her. She said, you are a gallon. She's like, your mother was a water bottle. She's like, this is all she had to give you. So you have to accept that she did not have the capacity to fill you in the way that you need to be filled. And I think that's the way with dating too. Like depending on where we are in our range and who we are as people, we meet people who don't have the capacity to fill us in a way that they need to. We know that, continue to pursue it. And then you get down the line and you cheating, or you doing things you're not supposed to do. You're not fulfilled because that person can't really add to you like you would need them to. That's another dynamic of dating that doesn't even have nothing to do with finances or core values, anything like that. Like you have to meet people like where you have to understand and accept where you are and say, this is what I have to add. Can this person also pour back into me? Because you don't want to spend your whole relationship or your life pouring into others and not being able to be poured yourself.
Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. Chelsea over here sounded delivered.
I mean,
hold on, wait.
I need to read a couple.
Hold on, wait. Chelsea that got delivered over here in the middle of the episode. Hold on. Go ahead, read the super chat.
Stop.
Yeah, because hold on.
You think I'm gonna find a man now? What's the chat saying?
Shout out
the
to
chat
Kenny.
saying we go together. And I'm just kidding.
Shout out to Kenny and Soft Life for sending over the super chat. Shout out to my man K2.
K2
says there are too many rules on dating. The list of requirements be 50 items long. Y'all want to marry God. You're not perfect, but you require it. Is wild to me. Very interesting. That's a married brother too. Married with 4 kids, I believe.
Okay.
He got 4 or 5 kids.
Probably on his way to 6 now.
Yeah, he young too. Which is because that's an example of a guy who grew up and was really educated on the benefit of marriage and kind of how things work. Because K2 is like my age. I think he's been married for like 10 or
since he was 18.
Since he was 18. Damn.
Something like that.
Let me ask you guys
Almost
something. Do you
20 years.
guys want to be married?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. And so we're talking about us, but like not to
dating in your 30s.
not
I
to
guess we
stay
are
on
dating
it too
too. Huh?
long.
Hold on, wait. No, hold you. Can you finish that super chat?
Yeah.
Finish the super chat. We're gonna come back to you.
Shout out to Craig G. He says, I'ma say it. The last generation failed us in the aspect of understanding men and women and how to work together. Also in understanding what to look for in a wife and husband. We have to fix our households. Shout out to Kendra Black Butterfly for dropping the memberships. Matching
I love it.
Another energy. One. Shout out to Kenny. Older women keep women single. She was scary. But, oh my goodness. Shout out to Craig G. Green wanted her to have a man so bad. Why? Shout out to Larry Love Jr.
That was funny to
Who
y'all.
says,
Okay.
I love
Shade.
the show. Yeah, a little shade. You gotta have a little shade in there. And shout out to Odanyo M. Man, I want to pronounce that. I just want to say it wrong. Let me get some more culture myself so I can know how to pronounce those beautiful last names.
Absolutely. Yeah. And guys, look, go ahead. Continue to send your super chats over. These ladies are not going to be here all night long. We actually going to be winding down the show in just a few minutes here. So get your final cohort of super chats in so we could go ahead and read them And Chels, I'm gonna let you go ahead and ask your question that you were gonna ask.
Well, before you got in your relationship, this is for you. What was the deciding factor between the initial first date conversation and meeting to make you say, you know what, this is a person that I actually want to be in a relationship with, monogamous or whatever, just me and her? Like what was that deciding factor about her?
Well, and see, I think that's the thing too, because when it came down to it, in many ways, she got lucky. And here's what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that the women I didn't date in my past were not relationship material
Mm-hmm.
or marriage material.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I finally realized what I wanted while talking to her.
Got it.
So see, that's the thing.
Timing.
That's exactly what it is. I made my mind up while I was in a relationship or while I was talking to her that, okay, now this is something I want to build. So I'm going to go about this situation a lot differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to nurture this relationship a lot differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk to you and plan with you a lot differently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more so the biggest difference. It wasn't necessarily just her. Don't get me wrong. I think this young lady is very qualified and is potential.
Mm-hmm.
But I think were also women that were also qualified that I've dealt with in the past and probably even looked over because I'm more so in a place looking for casual sex and not a woman I could build with.
Okay.
So the thing about it is when your mindset again is not made up on this is something that I really want, because our mind is powerful. When we literally say we want it,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
we start doing things, we start taking actions, things start falling in place.
Right.
But a lot of us don't really want it. We want all of the extrinsic things. That's why we focus on the grind.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to survive. We want the house. We know we want the house. We wrote it down. We wrote it down in our journals. We wrote the car down in our journal. We wrote exactly which car we want. We test drove it, right? We got it as our screensaver on our phone.
Right.
We know we want it. But when it comes to that other stuff, we very scared to claim that that's something that we want, because what if I don't get it?
I have a follow-up question. You weren't necessarily looking for that, right? Because you said you were going after the casual sex, but this
100%.
woman was presented. What did she present to you
That was my
that changed
question.
your mind?
That was my question.
What was
She
it?
presented nothing that changed my mind.
It's a decision that you
It's a
made.
decision I made.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, my platform has had a major impact on me, just in period.
Mhm.
So like, I honestly, when I went into that relationship, you know, in dating, I probably went in just as casual as I went into other relationships.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, I like that. Okay, yeah,
All right.
yeah. Let me see what I could do with this,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
But again, my decision now, okay, wow. Okay, you know what? I do want this. Wow. Okay, this is why I want this. Oh, wow. This is what I can build with this. Oh, wow.
Can I put
Now
a,
I can see it.
Can I put a pause there? There's this quote, and you could tell me if this is true or not. They said that men don't marry who they want; they marry who's there when they're ready.
I've
Like
heard that.
men don't marry their dream girl; they marry the girl who was right there
When
not,
they're ready.
Not taken away from the girl that's there, but it's just to your point of timing. Just like that last girl was amazing, I just wasn't ready. So now I'm marrying this girl because that's where I'm at. And do you think that's a form of settling though?
No, see, the thing about it is there's no perfect woman.
Well, not perfect. I'm sorry. You know what I'm trying to say.
I see what
like,
you're saying.
Yeah.
But as long as a woman has the raw materials,
When
that
you're ready.
when I'm ready to build this house, as long as I have the materials around me that I need to cultivate and build this house, I'm going to end up with a house.
Do you not feel like, or am I off base? And you guys can tell me not that almost like when we're dating with this type of, because I don't think anything's wrong with what you're saying, but I almost feel like now as women, we just kind of like rolling dice.
And it's
We
like
kind of
it's like we're waiting on y'all.
yeah, like we rolling the dice when
Yeah.
we date. Like let's hope he in this spot where he, ready, and I'm the person
the
available.
thing
right
about
there.
it is when you're ready,
Mhm.
you're going to all of a sudden have different conversations to now know when other brother. The thing about it is you're not ready. So because you're not ready,
Who ain't ready?
you said it.
No, I said no.
No. Listen,
No.
here's why I know you're not ready. Here's why I know that. And Chelsea, I'm not picking on you.
Y'all are picking on me. The chat done said y'all
You
picked on
said
me.
no, because I think most women are like you. I promise you. Thank you for being honest, Chelsea. I appreciate you. You really made this a great show tonight. So shout out to you.
Shout out, girl.
Yeah,
But see,
yeah.
the thing
I'm
about it
kidding.
is, if I ask somebody, do you want this?
Mhm.
And they say, I think so. You don't want it. It's just that simple. It's literally that simple.
You know what? And I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm gonna be very transparent. Somebody asked me, they presented two options in front of me. They said, if you were to go through this life and Never meet the desires of your heart, your career, your purpose, your dreams, your goals. Never obtain that. Or if you never had a husband, what would break your heart more? And I immediately said, not following my dream. It wasn't even a doubt to me. Me not having a husband wouldn't break my heart. But if I leave this earth not fulfilling what God had me to do, my dreams and my purpose, I will be crushed at the end of the day. And that is, again, something in therapy I'm unpacking, because I don't want that for me, though. I'm not a person that's like sitting here that's like, and oh, well, I'm like, why though? Like, I'm like trying to get to the core. Like, why is that though? Like, why can't I do both? Like I even look at it as like not being able to, like, I have a singular focus. So it's kind of like if I'm dating, I'm like, okay, that's my focus right there. And then like one thing is like I'm lacking in one area. So then I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna date because I'm focused on this. But like, I don't know. And I think also, to answer my own question, I think it's because I'm so used to, in my dating process, not meeting somebody who can come in and not be a distraction. It's always like I'm ready to meet somebody who can like add, like we could equally add, not somebody that's going to take away and distract me from what I have going on. And I think that's just what's been the problem. So when you ask me at the end of the day, when the person asks me what would I choose, and even Lady Gaga has a quote. She's like, at the end of the day, she was like, if you have to choose your career or a person, she was like, your husband, she was like, your husband is never going to wake up one day. Your career is never going to wake up one day and tell you that they don't love you no more and they leaving you. Never.
It's what you can control.
Exactly.
Correct. So maybe that is the core. Maybe the core is a control thing for me.
And it's only what you've learned to control.
Yeah.
Because the reality of it is there's some degree of influence that you can play on the outcome in your relationships, which is what everybody's figuring out, or the entire audience. Shout out to everybody watching Hardly Initiated, because that's what we talking about every single night. But that's just the area that you've like, you know what? I figured this out. I figured out how to get momentum in here. I'm seeing success here. I'm seeing W's here. I'm not seeing W's here.
Absolutely.
Is where you have structure, is where you have examples, is where it's clear incentives. So it is, I would say, probably easier to be successful career-wise than it is to have a successful long-term relationship.
Yeah, that's very true. So that's my truth. So whoever, feel away. I mean, that's
Talk your truth, girl.
I'm transparent in that regard, because I'm like, I'm not okay with, again, I'm not okay with people's, opinions. Like I said, I'm not married to my opinion. I'm always open to any dialogue. I'm not closed off to anybody's opinion, and I'm not closed off to a lot of things in general. Like, again, like I can tell you the core of my desire is to have a partner, but there are so many things that I'm trying to get to, like the why of like, why is that not my like total focus? Because there are some there are women I know that I met that I still know to this day, like I want to be married at 23, and they're married because they wanted that. Like, I want a husband in this by 23, and they got it. And I'm like, and that's just how we manifest anything. And to your point, like, I'm not manifesting that because that's not at the forefront of my mind. But like Nia said, she was like, I was grinding. That wasn't on my mind either. And it's like, I respect that, but like that, that can't be me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom was married for 30 years. My dad passed away, and now she's by herself. And I'm just like, I feel so bad for my mom, because I feel like people don't have to, we should not have, none of us in this world should have to do life alone. That's just my bottom line.
Man, we got a couple more in there. Let's go ahead and read these. And
shout out to Io. She says, my name's long. You can call me Io. I agree with all you beautiful ladies. You know your value, you know your worth, and know Jesus. There's a difference between compromising and settling. Shout out to Anna Dominique, one of the lovely initiates. She says, we love you, green shirt. You just talk a lot, but not anymore. This super chat is for you. Yo, I like Anna. She's off the chain.
Anna is hilarious.
Yo, shout out to Nicolette. She says, it's because it's something you can't control. The relationship is a faith walk. I agree with that.
We just said that.
I agree with that.
We just said that. Man, first of all, man, what a riveting conversation tonight, man.
Yeah, y'all got to get out that chat. So,
oh my goodness.
But I like the way you held down for those questions right there.
No, I
mean,
mean,
was good.
I mean, look, ladies, y'all have all, this is a very touching conversation, for all of us to be in the single war zone and battlefield and to be navigating this joint with many of the people in the chat. Because I think, listen, just to get a sense of it, if you single right now, put single in the chat. If you're watching the replay in the comments, put a single just to get a feel for what's popping off right now. Well, this is a touching conversation for y'all to be open about what's going on in y'all experience, which I appreciate, because I think there was a lot to take away from tonight, and all of y'all got different experiences.
Wait, are we done? Because I don't think we talked about the dating options, because I still think we need to address that. That's very important.
Wow.
Because the options. So this is what I was thinking. Okay, this is what I wrote these down. Now
So
I
here we
don't
go.
know for a
Ryan got
fact.
something very special for us.
No, I don't know for a fact, but this is what I'm thinking. This is what I hear from younger women.
Okay.
Just women in general. These are men that they wouldn't date. And I'm just curious if you ladies would be open to dating these types of men in your 30s. So one, older man. We talked about that. I think it sounds like everybody is cool with
Yes.
older men. How old too, by the way? How old?
I say 45 is my max.
So 10 years, 10-year difference? Okay.
I would do a 10-year difference. What?
I'm just laughing at her. What? So no difference. He got to be 20. What?
No.
What, he got to be 25?
No,
10 years younger?
I mean, no, it's maybe, how old am I? 35. 10 is fine, yeah.
Okay. Men with kids. You said no. Yes.
Which is still
No.
baffling to me, but yes, for me.
Which is baffling. Yes, I agree.
Mhm.
Divorcees.
I'm dating one, so yeah.
I don't care about that.
Okay. Men with less money.
Yeah, I'm not
Sure.
opposed to that.
Sure.
Yeah.
She gave in. She gave in.
You don't gotta be agreeable. I'm just
Yeah, don't settle. Don't settle, girl.
Okay. Men that don't live in the same city, so like a long distance situation.
I'm in a long distance relationship right now.
Okay.
We're long distance.
Okay.
I want a long
I do too. I would not. I'll be so open to that.
I do. I want
Really?
one.
Yeah.
Long
You say
distance.
you want
Yeah.
one. Why do you
Hold on,
want
y'all.
one?
Because I don't like dating in a city, you know, it's in the same town, different things like that. And I don't know. I just think I don't know. I just want to try a long distance relationship.
Okay.
I think
It ain't for the weak.
Yeah, and I'm not an affectionate person. I don't need you up on me 24/7 either. You know, so I
Hold
feel
on,
like
hold on.
You're not
hold
affectionate.
Hold on. You're not affectionate. Wait. Why are you not affectionate?
I don't know. I think it's a coping mechanism. You know, I think it's like just you don't want to be hurt, so you don't give.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Let me ask you: do you feel like right now, if you met your ideal guy, you'll be ready for him today?
Yes.
Okay. What if he wants some affection?
I'll give it to him.
I believe it. I believe it.
Reluctantly.
Yeah.
Reluctantly. You
What
wanna,
about-
you want a hug?
Nah, I don't believe what she's saying. She affectionate. What about men who have had relationships with your friends?
No.
No.
Absolutely
No.
not.
Hell
What?
no.
No?
No.
No.
That's a guys will do that.
No, guys won't do that.
What?
No, not long. Well, you know what?
That's
Some of these dudes is crazy.
I mean,
That's
that's
happened
against
before.
code.
That's against
Exactly.
code though, for sure.
That's against code.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's a good man that your friend has been with, you wouldn't. He can't.
No.
I
Okay.
wouldn't know.
No.
Okay.
What else you got?
That's why y'all-
What else you got
Yeah,
over
No,
there,
no,
man?
that was my list.
That's
That
why
was-
y'all need to y'all need to choose the friends wisely. That's why when
Yeah.
y'all choosing.
No, that was my list because I'm just curious. You know, once you get in your 30s, kind of do some of these things that you wouldn't have done dated prior. Does that kind of open up when you get in your 30s? Is all.
Yeah. No. Not one of my friends. That's code. Like you said. Like no.
Okay.
Now, what about you? Because you're in your 30s and you're dating as well. How much of that? applies
Older
to you?
women, not for anything serious. No.
So
Older men, women with kids.
pause. You're 35. What's considered older? Like you wouldn't date somebody 37?
I wouldn't date a woman who was 35.
What? Okay, you
Damn.
got to break that down. Why is that?
Well, I mean, consider. Let's say I start dating a woman who's 35 now. I'm assuming I dated for, let's say, 2 years before I saw, hey, this the woman. She's 37 years old. I mean, we're gonna have issues with. I'm assuming issues with fertility, issues coming up very soon with like menopause and all kind of issues just in the future that, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with with my woman, but it's just I wouldn't sign up for that.
So you
know?
only date younger women.
I'm not dating now, but no, it's hard to answer that question. So if I'm seriously dating, which I'm not dating now, it's going to be a younger woman. But when I was casually dating, I was dating women of all ages.
Interesting.
Yeah, all ages.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting
All
because a
ages.
second ago, earlier in the conversation, we were shallow for certain things, but
Oh, I'm not saying
now-
no.
Menopause.
I'm not
What
saying-
we can't
I'm just-
control.
No, no,
Menopause.
no, no,
very
no, no,
interesting
no.
perspective.
No, no.
Let's
Well,
end.
because
right.
health is important, and I'm not saying that all women don't have some experience with that, but it's just certain issues that I
Men
don't
also
wanna
come
take
with
on.
issues.
I agree with that.
She's
I'm not
20.
saying that.
She's
I'm not
25. What are
saying
y'all
that.
talking about? And these 25s are the Gen Zs are so different.
I agree with that, but this is the thing. When it comes to dating younger women, I think it's an assumption that other women will make to say, hey, this must be some, I don't know, anime watching little girl or something like that. But I don't date women. I date mature women.
Got it.
I date mature women. They 25. They got bright futures ahead of them. They regularly working out. You know, they mature women. They can know how to present themselves amongst.
And a 35-year-old can't do that.
I was saying, if
No,
you
no,
met
no.
someone today that was everything you desired, that was 35, 36, 37, you would walk away from an amazing woman.
Froze her eggs.
So this
she
is what
can
I'm
have
thinking.
kids.
I'm definitely not doing that. So this is, that's just not. Now that's just me. That's just
Yeah.
me, and I know
And I'm
that's
not
gonna come with
knocking your
certain. That's gonna
preference.
come with certain issues. But I'm thinking 35 years old. Okay, so this woman, she's probably very invested into her career, extremely
Mhm.
invested,
Okay.
to where it would be a fight to become a priority in this woman's life. Like you even stated, these men are distraction. I would hate for my
No,
woman to be
the
35.
wrong.
All
No,
women.
the wrong. No, let's be clear.
How can a man distract you? That's what I'm thinking.
The wrong person is a distraction. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Let's be clear. Not all men. I'm not distracted by all men. But if you come into my life and you're not adding any type of value, then you can become a distraction. That's anything in life, though.
Okay, so outside of the fertility concerns and the career, the being deeply entrenched in her career, certain ideologies and ideas I'm sure she'll have if she have not had a husband by then.
So you want the
right?
younger because she's malleable.
You want somebody impressionable so you can mold her to
Very-
be the
mold
woman
her,
that
First of
you
all,
want.
I don't
yeah.
even want to bring that kind of language into this conversation.
I'm just
I don't want to
saying.
bring this kind of probably like this is my experience with women that are a little bit younger, let's say
Mhm.
5 to 7 years younger.
Mhm.
They usually are open to certain things.
What about 30 though? Because you're 35. Is 30 okay?
30, 28, 30, I would be all right. Maybe all right. Not ideal, but that would be all right. I'm thinking
Yeah.
right now, 26, 27.
21, 22.
No. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
But a lot of men have that.
Y'all are off the chain. I don't even understand this. This is the thing. This is the
I'm just giving you a hard time, right? I'm just messing with you.
No, I get
your,
it, 'cause
Your preference is your preference.
because y'all are saying y'all would date a man that's 7 to 10 years older.
Absolutely.
So I think that's exactly
And
what
that's
I'm
why I
saying.
said I'm not knocking you because I'm dating an older man. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to understand the logic. What about you? Are you dating younger, older?
I mean, she's well. I mean, I don't know if you consider this 29 young.
That's pretty young, I feel.
Yeah.
But
She's
he's
still in her
30. He's
20s.
30. What you 31?
Yeah, I'm about to be
young
31
too.
in February. Too.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
you're
that's
young,
in your
too.
that's in your age. That's in your age.
Yeah.
That
Unc,
makes sense.
Unc over there need
Well, this thing. If I was 30 years old, that would make sense too. I'm dating a 28-year-old woman. I mean, that makes sense. I'm 35 now, so
you could do 30.
I could do 30. I do agree with you. It's not likely, but I could do it. But my age, no.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do y'all not find that men y'all's age typically prefer to date younger women?
All of them, most of them. That's why it's a common thing.
My
But the
age.
reasoning,
sense.
the reasoning behind, I think that you guys present these things, but I think the real reasoning behind it has a lot to do with impression.
Well, see, that's not true. And this is why I say that's not true, because I've dated women of all ages, okay?
Mhm.
Age don't got nothing to do with
But you feel like
the
older
way
women might be rigid and stuck in their ways and ideologies. And when you're 25 and you're, eating Takis and shit, you don't, a man could come in like, oh, that's my older, but he's 35. He be teaching me so much stuff.
Well,
you
see,
like,
and you got to understand that is women that with that mindset in their 20s,
Mhm.
they probably single at 35. I'm not dealing with those women. That's the thing. The women that are single right now at 35 years old,
Eating
that's
Takis.
exactly how they was thinking at 25. They was eating Takis. The women that I am considering dating and they 25, 26 years old, these are women that's like, yo, I'm not trying to do what them other women did. I'm different. I'm looking for a man. So it's a different
It makes sense though.
different
The
mindset.
same way you had your preferences.
that's why I said
you
I'm
had
just giving him a hard time. His
Yeah.
preference is his preference, but I think it's just funny though, because it's a common thing where when you get older as a woman, the men your age are choosing to date younger, and then you get our age and women are choosing to date older. It's so crazy, like the off balance. Like you 35, like my man got to be 40 or 38. I'm 35 man, she got to be 10 years younger. I was like, where's the disconnect with us that we 35 women got to go up, 35 men got to go down? That's just funny to me.
I mean, but what are you doing? This is like if a woman tries to date me and I'm 35 years old and I'm like, I don't got no money. She's like, what were you doing? So if I'm dating a woman, she's 35 years old. I'm like, what were you doing? She was probably chasing a bag.
Yeah.
She was probably, and
Mhm.
it's warts that come along with that. I've done it. So would I want to take that on and have to work through some of that emotional unavailability that woman deals with? No, when I could just deal with a woman who's a little bit younger. And if that's the thing, man, like when a woman gets to a certain age, it's so much more that goes into her thought process about like the future and all of these different things. It's like she literally is trying to, you on a first date, she's trying to identify you as a husband instead of just liking you for who you are. So it's levels of and issues that I find with dating women my age that it's just like, this is a lot of shit to deal with. Like, I just want a woman that likes me. I just want a woman that's going to be open to doing the things that I say that I like doing. I just want a woman that's not offended when I say, wow, you know, do you mind cooking? You know what I'm saying? Just these certain things that what I find with women my age, because they've dealt with manipulative men in the past, because they have not spent as much time improving themselves internally and also getting those measurable skill sets like cooking, cleaning, and these different types of things, because they spend time instead working, right, and pursuing this career, they just are not in the place to me that's just very attractive for a woman I want to be with. Like when I'm thinking about the woman I want, honestly, I feel like I don't even have that high of a standard, because I really just want a woman that's gonna be great for my kids. But that woman is nurturing. Like she spent time doing that. She is industrious, meaning I like my woman like a utility knife. Like if I got, I think Tarshawn complimented me on the jacket I had. I'm like, yo, I had the girl the girl I was dating the one time. She pulled out the shoulder pads out of it. Now it's a dope jacket. Like I like the woman to be able to do a multitude of different things. But the women that I'm finding that are around my age, the only thing that they know how to do really great, it's the same thing I know how to do, which is get money. So it's just like, good, you know how to get money, but it's just not attractive to me.
You just described me, baby. I do all that.
And listen, I can sell.
And how old are you?
I
I'm
can
32.
tell.
30. Okay, so you in your 30s. Okay.
So I like that. She do a little sewing, do a little knitting, do a little cooking.
That's
do a little
funny that
cleaning.
I think that people we all do it without getting to know you, like past a certain judgment. Like if Ronnie didn't say that, you like, I could tell. Do you think I know how to sew? Do you think I know how to cook? That's crazy, because I know how to do all of those things. I'm actually when in a relationship, I'm actually very nurturing and very affectionate, and I'm very domesticated. I truly am. Like I'm probably at all of my friends the most domesticated one when I have a partner. And that's what I'm saying about perceiving conversation. And maybe
Do you enjoy it?
I do. Like I enjoy catering to my partner, like I enjoy my person coming home from a long day and I'm providing him with a meal or a massage or a conversation, letting him unload and unpack and do all those things, or giving him his quiet time to play his game or whatever he wants to do. But you're not going to get that. I guess we all pass in judgment, or maybe could be a little bit of my fault. Maybe I'm not putting that, out there or I'm not getting perceived in that way. And that could be another reason, which is challenging for dating, because maybe that's like a layer that you have to get to know me to know, but maybe I have to
100%.
find a way to present that. You know what I'm saying? But like, those are all the things, if you would just speak with any of the ex that I had, that I actually did for them, which is the reason why we broke up. It was very hard for them, because like they were getting things from me like that they weren't getting from like other people. And it wasn't like external factors. It was all those things you said. I really truly want to provide a man's peace if I'm together with them in a relationship.
But if you say, this the thing, Shells, like if you say Outback, Applebee's is at a certain standard, and this woman over here is saying, no, I'm cool with that, then I'm going to think this woman is okay. Because when you say you don't like this thing, I can afford whatever restaurant we want to go on.
Yeah.
But if you say that Outback is a certain tier, then I'm looking at you like, okay, well, this woman more concerned about where we're going than who she with.
But I'm really not that. That's just what I like to eat.
But I get what you're saying. But the thing is, those things that may seem small, this is what women are communicating. So we dealing with these women that are.
And I'm gonna give you a good example. I'm gonna give you a good example. No, let me tell you, I got a very successful homeboy. Shout out, he's gonna watch this. And he was talking to a young lady on the phone. And one of the things she communicated, he was like, what do you want to, like, how do you want to live? And she was like, I want this massive compound, and I want to have this over here and that over here and this. And the thing about it is, this dude can really provide that. But he would just communicate, I want a fucking massive compound. So then the conversation went in the direction of, but what if you can't get that? Because now at some point it kind of reeks of a liability mindset, where now he's potentially looking at having to more so provide and put out and meet this standard that has been set so tremendously high that in some ways, I don't even want to say it's bad for her to have high hopes and high dreams and good taste, right? I'm not dumping on taste, but in general, you're right. This is just how we think.
Yeah.
This is the reality of it. And he really communicated dissatisfied, and again, a well-to-do. This ain't no, if you broke, just say that. None of that.
Yeah,
he got it.
Got it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm about to just start lying to you niggas. That's just
no. See, maybe
I love me McDonald's. What you mean? I want to go to Chili. I love Chili.
No, I don't think it's that.
Get in that hole and be
But
like,
you know what I think it
It's
is.
a
I
level
think
of
because
agreeableness.
I think the reality of it is what happens is what a woman can do too when you communicate is what we're looking for is your values and how you communicate. And sometimes when you communicate in those that luxurious palette that you have, it allows us to shape your values as a woman. And what it seems like with us is we ain't on the same page.
We probably not.
With
That's
what
fine.
we want.
Okay.
And it's not even about the money.
It's perceived.
It's just we not on the same page with what we deem to what's important to us.
What you value the
So then
most.
you're going to quest to find somebody where you meet somebody where it's the same value. That's just what I've been saying this whole time. I'm not going to judge somebody for that, but it's just like we're not on the same page. So find somebody who's on that page.
Well, see, and that's the thing. It's going to be difficult to find a man who is on that page. This thing.
The last
We're
guy
not
I
just
dated,
put-
we had the same taste. Like we were dating for like 6 months. It was actually really great. I never had to have these conversations with him. He liked nice restaurants. He liked to try new restaurants. He liked to do nice things. Like we were on the same level of what we like to do. So I did find somebody like that, and it was great. I didn't have to have these conversations about what's too high, what's too low, because like me, he was already living his life that way. So I wasn't introducing to him that this wasn't new to him. He now found somebody to do it with. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
No.
No, I'm saying with me, like who I date and how I date.
But just because who doesn't like nice things? This is the thing. Like who
but,
doesn't
But
like
there's
nice
people who
things?
haven't been exposed to that and they don't know about that either, though.
I get that, but what I'm saying is like, what's more important? Like, is it the nice things or is it getting to know this person? It's
No,
like
getting to
basically
know
it's a
them.
layer. It's
Yeah.
layers that I found that women of a particular age that are not, they're just not willing to reveal those layers. It just takes too much work. It's like, for example, you go. It's just so many examples.
I
Like,
get it.
and I want women. I want for men my age to be more attracted to women of the same age, right? Because these are women who, are qualifiable for a potential partnership, but it's the mindset and the attitude. Like, I've been on dates with women where I didn't get a compliment, not because I need to be validated, but if you going out, like, that's how you express interest. That's how I know you're going to be interested. I've dated women where I've talked to them and they're like, hey, like, I called them after a couple of days. They're like, well, they got an attitude. I'm like, hey, what's the situation? Well, I expect you to call me this time and this. And it's like, well, my thought of if I'm dealing with a younger woman, if she want to talk to me, guess what she gonna do? She gonna call. She not gonna think about if I hit them up too many times or if this going on or if that going on. So it's just like this level of emotional vulnerability that it just seems to be very difficult with a woman that's your age, because she's been in situations where she hit a dude up and she was telling the dude how much she liked him, and then he had sex with her and didn't hit her up again. She's been in a situation where she's been manipulated and kind of ran over by a dude, so it's like all of this relationship baggage, because I understand we all have relationship baggage, but you have to do things to not mask it, but to still have the things that you say and do to have a level of openness. So just this level of openness that I think that women don't even know they're not giving, which is why when you said what you like, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. From what you've communicated, you just seem like this certain type of woman. I could have pulled it straight out of my butt, but it's certain assumptions that I've made just from this conversation about how you would be if I were, just kind of throwing this out, if I were to date you, kind of that type of thing.
No, we gotta dig into Ronnie. We ain't get to dig into Ronnie over there. It's some stuff we gotta figure out about Ronnie. No, but listen, that's
interesting.
This was Ryan stopped the whole thing because I was about to close the thing down. He said, "No, we got to talk about these
We
options."
got some super chats. Well,
So we had to talk about it real quick.
We want people to find love, right? But there's certain things that you do have to do at positioning for both men and women. And I don't know if anybody has given actual really good advice about how to look at these things. Because especially when it comes to the dating, when I hear certain things that dating coaches give women, it's like, I would hate that if I was dating this woman, if she was to do something like that.
Yeah. No, I get it. Let's get those super chats read, man.
I'm reading super chats. Shout out to Kenny for sending over of super chats. Men should date younger with no kids. Kenny is gonna keep on coming with these.
Kenny's a Nigerian brother too.
Anthony
For
Loken.
context on the Kenny.
These ladies hating on Ryan for dating younger, but the two of them say they prefer older. Okay, y'all got the guys coming out. Shout out to Crystal, new membership. Shout out to Soy. When are we going to get some engagement in the membership tab? Oh my God, Soy just confronting us on the.
So I got customer service concerns in the
in
damn super chat. So send us an email.
Soy, no. Soy is 100% right, which is why we went down to 2 episodes a week, because we know it's things that we have to deliver to you guys outside of engaging episodes. So one of the things that we just did, which is important, I'm gonna just share this with y'all. We actually brought on a talent specialist to actually help take some of the huge load off of me and Tyshawn when it comes to finding excellent guests.
Right.
And we're going to use that time to give back to the membership guys. So just be patient with us. But great thing. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Nicole. How about a 36-year-old that looks 25, right?
Oh shit.
Slayer. You know what?
Nicole she trying to hey, drop your IG, Nicole.
Right. Nicole, let's just say I'm excited to meet you, okay? So shout out to Andre, says, can I join? Yes, absolutely, Andre. You can join. Shout out to Practitioner. 75% of gene mutations come from the father genes. The risk of the child having a genetic disorder is surprisingly increased from the dad's genes as he too ages. Hashtag I'm just a messenger. Shout out to Practitioner. I actually got to I'm motivated. I'm gonna look up some stuff. What happens to old men as they date going up in age. Shout out to Lady K's Kitchen. Says Ryan's preference is his preference. He needs young eggs that can make his baby. You know what? Some of them 25-year-old eggs is looking nice on the shelf. So I appreciate that, which is true, by the way. And shout out to Kenny again. As a woman, your immediate family should be your ultimate goal. Your career will not be next to you and your sick bed, but your family will be. That's a fact.
Hey, well, listen, thank you guys for going ahead and sending them the last cohort of super chats. And thank you so much for all 3 of you beautiful ladies for joining us here today on this episode here of Hardly Initiated. Rarely do we have our singles panels like this. So this is very special. First of all, I want to hear y'all feedback on this one here. Y'all know we're going to let this one here ride. We're going to let y'all go ahead and enjoy yourselves for a little bit after the show. I want to see your feedback here in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, let me know your thoughts of this episode here in the comment section. And if you're so curious to meet any one of these beautiful ladies, we have went ahead and put each one of their Instagrams right here in the description. So please go ahead and follow, tap in. You can ask some questions. Are they allowed to send you some DMs?
Sure.
What about, is the DMs open?
Sure.
What about the brothers? They open for the brothers?
Sure. After this, you think somebody gonna DM me?
Wait, what's some restaurants you like again?
You think somebody gonna DM me after y'all just drugged
As
me
long-
like that?
Yeah.
No, probably
for sure.
not.
What
No,
you
no, no,
mean?
What do
they
you
will.
mean?
Listen, everybody got a type. Yo, Brian, hit this one up right
Your
here.
husband might be watching. Excuse me. Bye. Close this show out, please.
Hey. Well,
No,
listen.
you did good tonight.
No, absolutely. No, honestly, all of you ladies did absolutely excellent. This is you got to be brave as hell to come up on here.
I flew from LA to do this, by the way.
Man, shout out to Chels coming out here from LA to be in Atlanta in Hardly Initiated Studios to talk about the war stories here in the single dating battlefield, because that's just what it is, y'all. But thank you so much for as well, Ronnie, Brittany, Chels. It has been absolutely incredible.
Thank
y'all
you.
better go ahead and subscribe and like this channel. I tell y'all every show, it matters more than you know. But listen, Hardly Initiated. We are out.